watching the award-winning GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television, your hometown news and information station.
Live from the Germantown Civic Club Complex, it's Germantown Community Television's live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival, the largest arts and crafts festival in the Mid-South. And now, here are your hosts, Madison Arthur and Justin Rowland.
Welcome to Germantown Community Television's live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival. I'm Justin Rowland.
And I'm Madison Arthur. We are here at the festival grounds in the heat of old Germantown. Yesterday was an amazing start to the festival, and we are excited about what today has in store, both on our show and here on the grounds.
Over 400 artisans and vendors from all over the region descend on Germantown for this annual event. But those crafts are just a taste of what the festival offers. There's live entertainment, tasty food, and one of the best family atmospheres you'll find anywhere.
And all this fun goes to some wonderful causes. Volunteers from local civic and nonprofit organizations work the grounds each year to raise money and awareness.
Some of those volunteers will join us on stage, along with guests from organizations here in Germantown and all over the Mid-South.
We will also hear from some of the area's top talent on our entertainment stage, and head out to the grounds where our field reporters have covered every inch of the festival.
In fact, it's time to welcome our live field reporters, Matt Coons and India Ratliff. They will take us behind the scenes with the festival's most popular artisans. Matt and India?
Thanks, Justin. Well, the day is finally here, the day of the Germantown Festival.
Right, Matt. I've been waiting on this day for weeks. Every time I come, I get souvenirs I'll remember for years.
That's great, India. It sounds like you're really excited, and I'm pumped too. And for everyone at home, Indy and I are going to be taking you around the festival grounds and are going to introduce you to some amazing artisans.
It looks like you could get just about anything for anyone out here. Just by walking around, I've seen plenty of things I want to take home.
I'm looking forward to seeing you interview those intriguing vendors.
I can't wait to talk about what they're selling.
And with the weather we're having this year, India, I'm sure it'll just be a blast.
So, if you're looking for a fantastic show, look no further. We'll be broadcasting here live until 5 on Germantown Community Television.
But if you can't stay tuned to your TV, we'll be streaming live at GHS-TV.org. Back to you, Maddie and Justin.
Thanks, Matt and India. We'll check back in with you later on in the show.
As we mentioned earlier, GHS-TV will bring you live musical performances throughout the afternoon from our very own entertainment stage, located on the festival grounds. To begin our entertainment for the day, we want to welcome to our GHS-TV entertainment stage, Anna Strong, who will be singing Stupid Boy. Let's go over to Anna now.
She was precious like a flower, and she grew wild, wild, but innocent. A perfect prayer in a desperate hour. She was everything beautiful and different. Stupid boy. You can't fence that in, stupid boy. It's like holding back the wind. She laid her heart and soul right in your hands, and she stole her every dream, and you crushed her plans. She never even knew she had a choice. That's what happens when the only voice she hears is telling her that she can't. You stupid boy. What made you think you could take a lie and just push it around? I guess to build yourself up so high, you had to take her and break her down. Well, she laid her heart and soul right choice. And that's what happens when the only voice she hears is telling her that she can't. You stupid boy, you always had to be right. And now you've lost the only thing that ever made you feel alive. And you stole her every dream and you crushed her plans. She never even knew she had a choice. And that's what happens when the only voice she hears is telling her that she can't. You stupid boy, you're the same old stupid boy. It took a while for her to figure out she could run, and when she did, she was long gone, long gone.
That was Stupid Boy sung by Anna Strong. We're going to talk with Anna in just a moment.
Right now, we are going back over to India Ratliff, one of our very own GHS-TV field reporters, with some news on the festival grounds. India?
Thanks, Maddie. Want a little taste of Italy right here in Germantown? Well, with the help of Pasta More, your pastas will taste like they're made under the Leaning Tower of Pisa itself. How are you today?
Great, thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about what your product is?
We have our gluten-free flavored pasta, all handmade. We use fresh vegetables to blend our flavors, so you really taste the flavor when you prepare it.
Can you tell me a little bit about what makes your product unique?
We're certified gluten-free, which means we built our kitchen from the ground up. We've never produced any other products in the kitchen. So someone who has celiac or is gluten intolerant with confidence knows they can eat our product without getting sick.
Can you tell me a little bit about the certification of your gluten-free kitchen?
The gluten-free intolerant group goes through a rigorous inspection to make sure that we test at less than 20 parts per million. We test at less than 5 parts, so we're well under the certification.
Do you have just gluten-free noodles, or do you have gluten with gluten inside the noodles?
We have regular pasta as well, also all handmade, made with fresh vegetables. We use durum semolina flour for our regular pasta.
Can you tell me a little bit of the different flavors you offer of the noodles?
We have the wild mushroom, sweet potato, garlic toasted onion, that just to name a few. There's 17 flavors in all.
So, if you're feeling saucy, head on down to Pasta More at the Germantown Festival. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that inside scoop, India.
Right before India's report, we heard Anna Strong on our entertainment stage. She's joining us now. Anna, welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. It's really hot. So I know that you're in One Voice at Briarcrest Christian High School. Can you tell us a little bit about what One Voice is?
Well, it's an all a cappella group of 12 people, and we sing all pop songs, and you have to audition to get in, and it's kind of like, it's really, it's somewhat intense. Like, you have to really try hard and do your best to get in, and then once you're in, we have class every day at 7th period, and we make a CD every year, and we're actually the goal is to have our CD done by December this year so we can get it out earlier. That way we get more CDs out to the public before the summer starts.
Now, I know you said you guys cover like pop songs. What are a couple of the different songs you guys have done?
Last year we did Wide Awake, and that's the song that I had the solo in. And this year we're actually doing Dream On by Aerosmith, and we're covering Below My Feet, which is a Mumford & Sons song, and Clarity, and there's a few others that I'm not sure that we're doing yet. We aren't really sure what all we're going to do yet. We don't have all the arrangements in.
And where can viewers get a CD?
From any of the members in One Voice. Once we get them out, I think they're going to be $10, and if you just contact any of the people from Briarcrest, they'll find a way to get you one.
Well, thanks so much, Anna, for being on our show today.
No problem.
Once again, that was Anna Strong, one of the many performers who will join us throughout the day.
Looks like it's time to check back in with one of our field reporters. Matt Coon's on the grounds to see what exciting festival fun he has found. Matt, what's happening out there?
Thanks, Maddie. Well, we can't all go to Narnia, and some of us didn't get our letter to Hogwarts. But with Mrs. Edelman's books, we might have a story that stars you. Thank you for joining me, Miss Edelman.
Thanks for having us, Matt.
So exactly what do you sell?
We sell personalized children's books. We take your child and put them into the story. They become the main star of the book. It'll have their hometown, their family and friends. It'll be all about your child. Imagine their excitement when they open the book up and it says, "Hi, this book is about Gail Edelman." It just thrills them.
That's so cute. And why should I buy these books, or what times would be good?
Well, we're here all day to 6, and we have an online website, personalizeabookforme.com. You can give them to birthdays, Christmas. We have Easter books, we have Hanukkah books, we have Kwanzaa books, we have books about my trip to the fire station. We have all kinds of books with all varieties. We have a fishing story where you get to name the fishing place and who goes fishing with you and who you wish was there. We have football, we have sports books, we have baby books, and our baby books come in all varieties. They come for single adopted parents, same-sex adopted parents, all a variety, Christian, Jewish. We have a lot of different books, and some of our books even come in Spanish. I can't tell you what they say, but they come in Spanish.
Well, that's wonderful. Can you tell me about some of the titles that we see on the side?
There's A Train with No Name, My Trip to the Fire Station, My Soccer Adventure. We have a dinosaur adventure that just came out back in the fall, and we have over 42 different books.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Edelman.
And you can buy it today and take it home with you today.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to get a book that stars me. So, back to you, Maddie and Justin.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Coons and our other field reporter, India Ratliff, will be joining us periodically throughout the show to bring us great footage of the festivities on the grounds.
To kick off our cablecast, we are joined by Lee Eck, the Director of Education and Outreach at Germantown Community Theater, and Dan McCleary, the founder and producing artistic director of Tennessee Shakespeare Company. They are both here to tell us about the exciting upcoming seasons they have planned. Guys, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Ms. Eck, I'll start with you. I know that you guys are hard at work for your upcoming show on Golden Pond.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about that show?
Yes, it's the directorial debut for Brent Davis, who is our producing executive director. So it's kicking off what I think is a really strong season. We've got some shows that we're really excited about. So it opens next weekend, next Friday, September 13th, and runs for 3 weekends over at GCT. So come see it.
Very exciting. And Mr. McCleary, I know you guys started off the season with Unto the Breach, which you were actually in. So could you tell me a little bit about how that show's been, what that show's about?
We opened it last night at Germantown Performing Arts Center. Stephanie Shine and Susanna Perry-Gilmore, Barry Gilmore, our Celtic musicians on stage. It was a huge crowd, the biggest crowd we've ever had for a show, and it's benefiting our education programming, specifically here in the city of Germantown. We reach over 10,000 school children a year. We had lots of people your age in the first 10 rows last night. It turned it into a rock concert. And then we have our second performance of it Tuesday night, and then a free student matinee Tuesday morning. Then we do It's a Wonderful Life at Dixon Gallery and Gardens, Romeo and Juliet back at GPAC in January. We wrap up the season with Taming of the Shrew in Dixon Gallery and Gardens in April and May.
Excellent. Well, we just heard the whole season from Mr. McCleary. What else can we expect from coming up from GCT here in the coming months?
We've got a lot this season. After On Golden Pond has its run, which I have to say we have a fabulous cast. Martha Graber and Jim Eichner are leading the cast in that. We have Agatha Christie's Black Coffee, followed by a big production of The Wizard of Oz over at the Memphis Jewish Community Center. Then following that we have The Miracle Worker, Boeing Boeing, which is a really funny comedy. And lastly, we have, we're rounding out our season with, 12th Night, 12th Night, and then lastly, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum by Stephen Sondheim.
And I know both of you guys are really involved with students. What can y'all tell us a little bit about what you have to offer?
Well, we have we have 7 or 8 different programs running right now in the city of Germantown, in Memphis, in the Mid-South, and then we tour throughout the southern United States. this year with a new show called Shakes, Rattle, and Roll, which is Shakespeare that's infused with Memphis-born music. A lot of soul and R&B that travels from Missouri, Kentucky, all throughout the South and back to Memphis. We'll reach over 20,000 school children with that. And then we have something called Free Will Kids Nights, where children who are 17 and younger, when they come with a paying attending guardian, get in for free every Thursday night at all of our programs. And then we do something called the Romeo and Juliet Project. We do that in 8 different schools in Germantown and Memphis, where we go in as teacher actors, go into every single freshman English class, and we get the students up on their feet playing and talking about Romeo and Juliet. And then they fall in love with William Shakespeare.
I'm sure. Wow, that's very awesome.
We have all sorts of stuff going on at GCT as well. Right now we're getting ready to kick off Fairy Tale Trail, which is a Halloween time production that we do at the Festival of Fun and Fright in partnership with Germantown Parks and Rec. We also have a holiday touring show. It's an educational touring production. This year's Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. So we bring that to local schools. Sometimes we go as far as an hour and a half out to reach some schools that don't typically get as much attention. And then this year, for the first time, we're offering student matinees of 2 of our main stage shows, which are Wizard of Oz and Miracle Worker. And then on top of that, we have classes, homeschool classes, Saturday day camps every fall and spring, and so those are underway. And in the summer, we have 6-week-long summer camps as well. So it's busy.
I've also read a little bit about the ACT Summer Play
Yes.
Series. Could you tell us, viewers, a little bit about that?
It's so much fun. Every summer we do a musical and a non-musical of just children for families. This past summer we did Aladdin Jr. and Peter Pan, which was a big success. For the first time we brought each production for a week over to the Salvation Army Croc Center downtown. So to give our kids a larger audience to play with, which was really fun. We haven't picked this coming season, this coming summer's productions yet, but we are adding a 3rd ACT production this year over at Memphis Jewish Community Center of Charlotte's Web. And those auditions are in January, so.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Mr. McCleary, in the past couple of years, Tennessee Shakespeare has used some fabulous spaces in the Shelby Farms Amphitheater and the Dixon Gallery and Gardens. What has that experience been like, and are you guys planning on topping that, or are you moving anywhere else, or what's that been like?
Well, this year we're inside Germantown Performing Arts Center, which is a big indoor space for us. It seats over 800 people. It's a lot for Shakespeare. And we'll be inside the Dixon Gallery and Gardens, and we're going to retrofit their Weingartner Auditorium for a 1940s radio show of It's a Wonderful Life, and then for a 1920s version of Taming of the Shrew, as if Hugo Dixon, after whom the Dixon Gallery and Gardens is named, as if he had just built the house, and part of Shakespeare's play is called an induction, where the players actually show up at a fairly wealthy person's house looking for board and for room, and in exchange they put on a show. So we'll put on a show in the library of the Dixon Gallery and Gardens. So we make it very environmental, and it's very accessible for all ages.
Excellent, excellent.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about how we can get in contact with tickets and websites and be able to see more shows, both of you?
Sure. Our website is www.tnshakespeare.org, or you can just come by the historic train depot located right across from Germantown Commissary and next to Elfo's Restaurant.
And our website is gctcomeplay.org. You can also find all of our information on our Facebook page. We keep that very updated and current. And we're located on Forest Hill Irene Road between Poplar and Poplar Pike, and we love visitors.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Really looking forward to those exciting seasons, definitely.
Appreciate it, guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank you for having us.
That was Lee Eck and Dan McCleary. Thanks to each of them for being on our show, and remember to check out both the Germantown Community Theater and the Tennessee Shakespeare Company this season.
It looks like our live reporter, India Ratliff, has some more exciting festival action to share with us. India, what's new out there?
Thanks, Maddie. Still searching for the perfect charm for your wife? Or looking for the perfect necklace for your daughter on her prom night? Well, come on down to Baubles and Beads at the Germantown Festival, and you can find what you need. How are you today, ma'am?
Just fine, thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you have at your jewelry stand?
Yes, ma'am. We have custom-made Pandora-type bracelets, necklaces, and earrings, all colors and styles, bracelets and sizes from the small girls on up to adults. We have gemstones from out west that are made into nicer necklaces, different type necklaces. We also have a great collegiate collection that includes many schools. We have, of course, Memphis State, we have Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Florida Gators, Florida Seminoles, and University of Georgia.
Well, I see here that you have a lot of charm bracelets and charms. Do you offer the charm bracelets here?
Yes, we do. You can buy the charms separately. We have a great selection. We have animals, we have hobbies, we have just about anything that you can imagine. We can sell them separately.
I see that you have a lot of earrings here. Can you tell me a little bit about the metals that are in the earrings?
Yes, the earrings are surgical steel post, nickel-free, lead-free.
Does that mean that they're hypoallergenic?
Basically, yes. For anyone that has a problem with wearing earrings, they can wear these.
So, if you're looking for a special occasion for that special someone, come on down to the Germantown Festival and get your charm bracelet from Baubles and Beads. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that inside look, India. India Ratliff and our other field reporter, Matt Coons, will be back later in the show to tell us more about the exciting events of the festival.
Now, speaking of exciting events, Madison, one of my favorite events, basically, in the festival to get involved in is the food. I love seeing the food. And have you gotten a chance to check out any of the festival food this year?
Yes, I have. Actually, I've been going to the Crepe Maker. They have some wonderful crepes there, and I also really enjoy the quackeries.
Absolutely, both very delicious. Judy Pizer is the director of the Center for Southern Folklore, and Jason Miller is the museum media specialist at the University of Memphis Art Museum. And they are both here today to tell us about what's coming up for each of their amazing organizations. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Ms. Pizer, I'll start off with you. Could you start by just telling viewers a little bit about what the Center for Southern Folklore is?
Briefly, the Center for Southern Folklore is a 40-year-old cultural institution, I guess. And over the years, we've made films, we present music, we've got a major archives, we do a major festival each year, all celebrating the music, culture, arts, and rhythms of the South. This last weekend, we produced our major festival. It was 6 stages, four outside, 2 inside, along Main Street, and it rocked. There was all kind of music, great food. The Crepe Maker was also there. And it was just a fabulous way to celebrate the region through celebrating the people, all cultures, all traditions, and it all came together on Sunday night with an amazing amount of people at every stage.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Mr. Miller, I know the University of Memphis Art Museum had a couple exciting exhibits just closed yesterday.
Carol Clore in his studio just closed. The very last attendee was David Lusk of David Lusk Gallery. He played an intricate part in that whole exhibition. It was the most well-attended exhibition in several years at the museum.
Excellent, very excellent.
And Ms. Pizer, last weekend, the Center for Southern Folklore kicked off this season with the Memphis Music and Heritage Festival. Can you tell me a little bit about how that went?
It rocked.
It rocked.
I mean, there were young kids lugging their parents, there were parents lugging their kids. It was a total celebration of music and culture. And it was a way that everybody learned a little bit more about if they're going to grocery shopping, who they're grocery shopping with. The festival is geared so that it is a festival, it is a celebration. The stages are not enormous so that everyone can see the artists. The dancers come right up to the stage and dance between acts. One of the highlights of the festival this year was we honored Joyce Cobb. And Joyce Cobb is probably the most outstanding regional musician in the city. And we also released a new CD of her work. Several years ago, we did a traveling show with Joyce, produced by Frank Bluestein, by the way. And this is a CD of the music, and it was a fabulous program. So there's a lot that goes on every day at the center. The festival was that thing that kicked off everything for the year.
And Mr. Miller, can you tell me a little bit about what other exhibits the museum has coming up?
What we have coming up is Bauhaus 2021, an ongoing legacy. This is featuring the photographs of Gordon Watkinson, who is a regionally and internationally known photographer who is photographing the actual Bauhaus school. It is quite awesome. I'm excited about the work. I don't want to spill the beans about everything because I want visitors to come to the museum. But this is going to be interesting. And I would like to also mention in Caseworks is Dustin Bork with these beautiful paintings. They're almost like relief works. They almost actually have a relief quality to them. They're very awesome. And then lastly, Terry Phillips will be in Art Lab with an installation that will knock the viewer's socks off. Come.
Excellent, very nice. Now, it is the University of Memphis Art Museum. So, can you tell me a little bit of how students at the university get involved in helping with the exhibits?
Absolutely. We have something every year called the Student Activity Fee Fund. This is where we are given a certain budget that we must spend with a particular project. This year coming up is going to be a project where we engage the public, particularly the students, to submit clippings from the news media that have personal significance that are going to be interwoven into a sculptural piece head-gated by John Salvis, who is based in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Salvis is an engaging sculptor. He is going to turn the museum into a giant installation, and the students are the centrifugal force behind this exhibition.
Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. Well, for both of you, can you tell us a little bit about a website that viewers might be able to go to check out more about the Center for Southern Folklore and the Memphis Art Museum?
The center's website is southernfolklore.com. We also have a fabulous Facebook page that we post a lot of media on. But I did want to let you know that we do a lot of programming throughout the year. We have music on Friday and Saturday nights at the center in our store. We're working on our archives, and we also have a major program where we bring in students. We call them cultural tours, and from all over the country and from Memphis. So if teachers are watching and parents are watching, they need to call the Center for Southern Folklore and book a group from. We work with young people, all ages of people, and it's lots of fun. It's a way to talk about our region.
Excellent.
The center is awesome. Judy is a force in Memphis. Our website is memphis.edu/AMUM. It is very simple. If you do a Google search for the Art Museum of the University of Memphis, we are the top to pop up.
Awesome.
And we are up to date. I have live feeds. You can join our email list. We are trying to go green, switching to electronic mailings. We have a lot happening. You can never go wrong going to our homepage. That's the center of everything else. Has our social media feeds also on there.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys both for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it.
It's an honor and a privilege.
Thank you.
Or as Rufus Thomas said, it's a pure plum pleasure.
Thank you.
Always.
Once again, that was Judy Pizer and Jason Miller. Make sure you check out both the Center of Southern Folklore and the University of Memphis Art Museum this season.
Now we are going to go back over to our own festival entertainment stage where Karen Showalter Cooper will perform Stride La Vampa. Take it away, Karen.
Stride la vampa, la folla comita, corre quel fuoco, lieta in sembianza, oli di gioia, intorno e chigiano, corri gli sghirri, avanza s'avanza, sinistra spede, sui volti orribili, la terra fiamma che s'alza a ciel, che s'alza a ciel. Stride la vampa, stride la vampa, giunge la voltima, corre quel fuoco, eta sembianza, grido feroce di morta levasi, cuore
was Karen Showalter Cooper performing Stride La Vampa. We will have the opportunity to talk with Karen in just a moment.
But before we go on, we'd like to acknowledge some very special businesses whose contributions have helped make this cablecast possible. We'd like to thank Goodwin's Nursery, Wendy's, Train Supply, and Lenny's Sub Shop for their generosity and support.
Throughout this afternoon's cablecast, we've heard from our two field reporters, Matt Coons and India Ratliff. Right now, let's check in with Matt for the latest from the grounds. Matt?
Thanks, Maddie. Well, if you want something to spice up your festival, woo! I'm here with Carol Mowbray and her amazing hot sauce. Thank you for joining me, Mrs. Mowbray.
It's good to meet you.
Can you explain to me what's special about your hot sauce?
All of our stuff is locally grown, and we have all of our vegetables are grown in the area. We hand make every batch in very small batches. So.
And can you name some of the varieties you have here?
We have a fire roasted salsa, and we have a traditional kettle style tomato salsa, and they have very different flavors. They're both available in spicy and mild.
And is fire roasted mean it's really hot, or is there a different meaning?
It means that actually all the vegetables are grilled. They're done on a grill, gives them a nice smoky flavor, and you can get a nice sweet salsa without having the actual fire in your mouth.
Well, that sounds very interesting. And I see that you sell other things besides salsa. Can you tell me about those?
We also have pickles. We have relishes. We have a lot of hot sauce. The hot sauce was what we started with, and it's done very, very well. And we've added the pickles, we've added the relishes, and we've got a really great product called escabeche, which is kind of like a Mexican pickle of sorts.
And what got you started in making salsa?
I love salsa, and so it seemed like a fun thing to make. So we started messing around with it, and it ended up being product, and everybody would always ask for some. So we thought it'd be a great plan to start making it on a larger scale.
Well, that's wonderful. What is the most popular salsa today?
Probably the fire roasted hot, definitely.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mowbray.
Thank you.
Well, if you wanted to add a little heat to your festival, come on down see Mrs. Mowbray. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Coons and our other field reporter, India Ratliff, will be joining us all afternoon to bring us great footage of the festivities on the grounds.
Just a few minutes ago, we heard Karen Showalter Cooper perform Stride La Vampa on our very own entertainment stage. Karen joins us now. Welcome to the show, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Maddie. Hi, Justin.
So I know that you've been really involved with Opera Memphis for many, many years. Can you tell us when you got started and what exactly you do with them?
I'm from New Orleans and grew up with a mother who's musical, and I was in New Orleans Opera Chorus when I was 16. Went to LSU and got vocal performance degrees, bachelor and master's, and then I came up here to do postgraduate work, started singing with Opera Memphis, and right now Opera Memphis is in the middle of what they call 30 Days of Opera Festival, and the aria that you just heard me sing, I'll sing at the Levitt Shell next Friday the 13th. Oh. And it's appropriate because the character's a gypsy, and she's looking into the flames at their gypsy campsite, and it triggers memories of her seeing her mother burned as a witch. It is opera, you know. So.
Yeah.
And I've read that you did stuff with Rhodes Master Singers. Can you give me a little bit more information on that?
I sang as a soloist with Rhodes Master Singers several years ago, and now I've returned as an alto section leader and future soloist. But they meet every Tuesday night. They're a semi-professional chorus. Dr. William Skoog is their director, and it's just a wonderful group to sing with. Very, very professional. A lot of Rhodes College students, and it's teaching them what a professional choir is like to sing in.
Now, I know you said you grew up in New Orleans and you've done many shows with some opera companies. Can you tell us just about a couple shows that you've done?
One of the exciting things I've done is I went to Germany and I sang in Germany for a while, and then I came back because I missed the United States. And when my husband asked me to marry him, I was singing The Medium in New York, and actually Opera Memphis is doing The Medium here. I'll be playing one of the attendants at the seance, though I won't be Baba. And Baba is a sham artist, and in the middle of one of her seances, something touches her from the other side, and so she basically goes wacko the rest of the opera. So I come home from singing that role when my husband asked me to marry him, and was so whacked out I couldn't realize he was asking me to marry him.
Well, thank you so much, Karen, for coming on our show. We really enjoyed it.
Really appreciate it.
Did they get my snort?
Once again, that was Karen Showalter Cooper, one of the many performers who will join us this afternoon.
Over 100,000 people will visit the festival grounds this weekend. Keeping up with all the traffic safe and moving are a crew of Germantown Reserve officers. Reporter Haley Bardos and videographer Zach Leonard have the story on these behind-the-scenes stars.
Each year, the Germantown Festival welcomes thousands of guests. What most of these people don't know is that some of the police officers working the grounds are actually reserve officers.
Basically, the Reserve Officer Program is a chance for citizens to come out and serve the community as a police officer of sorts. They basically volunteer their time as a citizen to learn how to be a police officer and help out with community events.
Many of the reserve officers are not on the Germantown Police Force. They participate in this program as a way to give back to their fellow Germantown residents.
It's just such a great organization, and so when the opportunity came to get involved with it, you know, as a volunteer, I did. And that was 10 years ago. I'm still doing it.
Well, I used to give back to the community and by coaching and doing things like that, but I haven't lately, so this was a good way for me to give back to Germantown and my communities.
The program saves the city thousands of dollars a year. This is just one of the ways that the Reserve Officers Program helps to benefit the city of Germantown.
And then again, the community service, the positive nature of it, with the community seeing that other people, their next door neighbors, you know, working to help them out and keep them safe. You know, it just creates a positive for the entire Germantown community.
As you can see, these officers work very hard to ensure that everything runs smoothly. They work through rain or shine with many different types of people. And guess what? They do all of this for only $1 a year.
No, the people out here aren't doing it for money, obviously.
You know, they make $1 a year. They're here for us at all times whenever we need them. They also help us work football games, basketball games, always here to assist us at any moment, any given time.
At the end of the day, we know that the reserve officers aren't here for the money, but rather here to give back to their community. For Germantown Community Television, I'm Haley Bardos.
Thanks, Haley and Zach, and a heartfelt thank you to the selfless reserve officers all over our great city.
Jody Dwyer is the fire marshal of the Germantown Fire Department, and Lieutenant Rob Jones is the Lieutenant of Uniform Patrol and Community Relations of the Germantown Police Department. They are both here today to talk about the incredible services their organizations provide our city. Guys, welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much.
Now, I know we just heard from Haley all about the reserve officers here at the festival, and I'm sure it's a very busy weekend for the both of you. Lieutenant Jones, can you tell us a little bit about what the police department's involved here with at the festival?
Sure. Basically, the police department's involved with security here mainly, keeping the peace, making sure the traffic flow is good, make sure everyone's safe and has a good time. You know, we work in concert, the reserves and the full-time officers work in concert together. The full-time officers are on their overtime, so this is not their normal shift. They're working over their normal shift or on their days off here to make sure everyone has a great time and a happy festival. So.
And Mr. Dwyer, how is the fire department involved in the festival?
Much in the same way. We're here for safety, but we provide our reserves work with us in conjunction with our full-time personnel, and we take care of overheated patients, EMS, and then also fire education. We do a lot of public education while we're out here. It's an opportunity to talk about fire safety.
And Lieutenant Rob Jones, how big of an issue is security really at the Germantown Festival?
Not too much, as long as, you know, there's a presence. We have to have a presence here, number one. But, you know, also overnight we have people here just for safety concerns. You know, the vendors go home, no one's here for security. It's ample opportunity for someone to come and steal something, that kind of thing. And people that are not quite honest, they might come through and do something nefarious, and therefore we have to have somebody out here just to make sure everyone stays safe.
And Mr. Dwyer, what does it take to become a certified firefighter or EMT?
You have to go through what we call a reserve school, and it's over 340 hours of actual hour time. And in that time, you learn how to be a firefighter. You take the certification tests that are necessary to become that at the state level.
Now, for the both of you, the Germantown fire department and the police officer both have outstanding standing officers, and the Germantown's finest are some of the best. But can you tell viewers a little bit what kind of qualities they can expect from fire marshals and from police officers?
Jody, you want to go ahead? Or?
Yeah, as far as the fire department goes, we are a very well-trained fire department in that we take pride in our education and our training. We go way beyond what's the state minimum requirements. We have specialties in certified rescue, certified swift water rescues, confined space, high angle rescue, high-rise rescue, and then on the public education on the fire marshal side, in our fire investigations and in the inspection program, all of our inspectors are required to be certified, state and national certifications. And in our fire investigations, we are with a task force with Shelby County, so we are part of investigations all over Shelby County.
And basically, just to enhance what Jody says, same thing with the police department. We try to go above and beyond. We try to overtrain our officers to be the best. We look for qualities of high moral character, just any other standards you would want for an honest, upright person. We all work together in concert. It's not the fire department and the police department. It's all one city. It's all one, giant department. So we all work together to better each other.
Okay, we truly, to piggyback with what Rod was saying, we have a great relationship with the police and fire department, unlike a lot of other communities where we really do work together as one.
And Mr. Dwyer, what qualities could our viewers expect from people in the community working in the fire department?
Same as Rob said, the integrity of what we have and where we are, and the kind of personnel that we hire is a quality that's often overlooked, but it's something that we take pride in here in Germantown.
And for the both of you, where can viewers go to kind of find tips on staying safe in terms of fire safety and home safety and stuff like that?
Wow, the internet, it's really, we are social media. We have Facebook pages, Twitter handles. We're also, the city webpage is a great place to go to start. And if you have time and you're interested, start with the city webpage.
And if you're out here at the festival or anything, we both have booths. We have everything set up so we can, answer any questions anybody has, and have wonderful stickers and pencils and T-shirts and all kinds of good stuff to hand out to everybody. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys both for being on the show and keeping the city safe.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank you very much.
Once again, that was Jody Dwyer and Lieutenant Rob Jones. Make sure to always be on the lookout for Germantown's finest, and be sure to thank them for their service when you see them.
Right now, let's catch up with field reporter Matt Coons, live on the scene of this year's Germantown Festival. Matt?
Thanks, Maddie. Well, earlier in the show, India gave you a little taste of Italy. Well, I'm going to give you a feel of Africa with African Shea Butter and its owner, Miss Carolyn Ross. Thank you for joining me, Mrs. Ross.
And thank you for having me.
Can you explain to our viewers exactly what African Shea Butter is?
African Shea Butter is a skin moisturizer that big companies like Jergens use in lotions and creams. It's a skin softener, and it's for dry skin, cracked heels, wrinkles, blemishes, sunburn, windburn, scrapes and scratches, and on and on. And I get it in the bulk, the big, huge 40, 50 pound gourds, and I hand pack it myself into jars like this here.
Well, that's great. I see you're selling all these other kinds of products. Can you tell me about some of them?
Yes, one of my favorite of these, this is paper beads from Uganda. The people of Uganda, they take what they have and they work with it. And these beads are from Uganda, hand-rolled paper. This particular basket is from Senegal, West Africa. And we have jewelry and many other things from Africa.
It's so beautiful. Can you tell me what got you started in importing African products?
Well, it started with my cracked heels. My heels were so bad, my husband used to say, "Get your feet off me." And so an African friend of mine told me about shea butter, and he traveled all over the United States selling his products, and so I patterned after him. He's my mentor. And I started selling the shea butter, and then I added on the baskets and the jewelry, and it got bigger and bigger. Yeah, I love it.
That's so beautiful. Is there a website our viewers could go to if they can't make it out to the festival today?
Oh, yes. My name is Carolyn Ross, known as the Shea Butter Lady, www.sheabutterlady.com.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ross.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. I love Memphis area, Germantown. It's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, if you can't go to Africa and just don't have the time, but you really want a change of scenery, come by and see Mrs. Ross. Back to you, Maddie.
Thanks, Matt. I can't wait to see what else you'll be bringing us later. We'll be checking in with both our live field reporters, India Ratliff and Matt Coons, periodically throughout the show.
Next up, we are going to visit with Kava Sidnick, a volunteer at the Memphis Pink Palace and Planetarium. Ms. Sidnick, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, can you start by telling viewers just a little bit about the history behind the Pink Palace Museum?
Yes, the Pink Palace has been a fixture here in Memphis since the early 1920s. It was built by an entrepreneur, Clarence Saunders, who is well known for bringing self-help grocery shopping to America. He developed Piggly Wiggly, which started right here in Memphis. And this is his home that he built, and Memphians called it the Pink Palace because of the pink marble that it's made of. And you drive by and you see it. Unfortunately, he didn't get to ever live in it, and it was turned over to the city of Memphis in the late 20s and turned into a museum and is run by the city of Memphis. And I work with the Friends of the Pink Palace, which is a volunteer arm that does a lot of fundraising and helps bring wonderful exhibits and different things into the museum.
Now, I know that the Pink Palace is always changing, but what kind of different exhibits does the Pink Palace have to offer?
The exhibits change all through the years. I've been here 2 years, and I've been able to see quite a few of them so far. Two of the most fascinating exhibits I've seen are the Elvis Presley Museum exhibit that they had, which chronicled every day in the life of Elvis Presley in 1956, when he was about to turn 21 and was really exploding on the music scene and becoming very popular. It was fascinating. It's in the Smithsonian Museum in DC, and our museum here in Memphis started that. The other exhibit that you can still see there is a piece of the Vietnam Memorial, which most Memphians don't realize was engraved right here in Memphis. It is fascinating. There's a tape that you can watch and the actual carvers. They developed a tool that engraved all those names on the Vietnam Memorial wall, and then it was shipped to Washington, D.C.
Now, Ms. Sidnick, as you mentioned, you have 2 big fundraisers coming up. Can you let us know a little bit about them?
Yes. Next Sunday from 5 to 8, we're doing a silent auction barbecue at the Lichterman Nature Center. All proceeds go toward Lichterman. And like I told you, I'm new here in Memphis, and so many people tell me, oh, I remember going to Lichterman when I was in school. We always did field trips out there. Guess what? We're still open, and it's a wonderful place to visit. One of the neatest things they have is a boardwalk that's at treetop level. So you walk among the treetops and you look down into the forest floor. It's fabulous. Lots of things going on there. Our fundraiser is called Stomp in the Swamp. You can come see all the competitive scarecrows that have been made. It's advanced tickets. You can buy them by calling into the Pink Palace Museum or to Lichterman. And in advance, they're 2 for $25, and that gets you a great barbecue dinner, opportunity to bid on silent auctions that have been donated from the community and our crafters from the Arts and Crafts Fair, which comes up in October. And we'd love to have all y'all come out. If you'd like to volunteer, if you have groups that need volunteer hours, please call us. Can I give you that number?
Yes.
The number at the museum is 636-2362, or you can call Lichterman Nature Center, which is 767-7322. And that's for buying tickets, for volunteer experience. If you want to come volunteer, we'd love to have you. Stomp in the Swamp is kind of my thing. I'm co-chairing it this year. It is a lot of fun.
And as you mentioned, you're really busy just throughout the whole year. So what would you say is your favorite part about working with the Pink Palace?
Working with the Pink Palace, getting to know a lot of people here in Memphis since I am new. Pink Palace has the wonderful IMAX theater that has great showings that change throughout the year. So it's something like 6 to 10 different movies come in there. Highly recommend it. And the different opportunities that I've gotten to learn about Memphis from there. It's not just Elvis, it's a lot of different things.
Now, I know you said that you work with Friends for the Memphis Pink Palace. And besides fundraisers, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of other things you do there?
Other things I do there, I do a lot of fundraising. I was for a while a docent, which I would explain the different exhibits to visitors that come in. And the Pink Palace is part of a nationwide museum system. So we have a lot of people that come in from all across the country that want to come and see that. So that's a little bit of what I do.
Okay. Well, can you give viewers a way that they might find out about a whole schedule of upcoming events at the Pink
We have a
Palace?
website. You can go to the Pink Palace Museum of Memphis, and it brings up everything that's going on at the Pink Palace from now through the next 10 months. You can also, well, that's finding us online, and you can call one of those two numbers that I just gave, and again, it's 636-2362 or 767-7322, and they'll be happy to help you.
And how could someone in the community go about supporting the Pink Palace?
Please come to our fundraisers. Stomp in the Swamp next Sunday. I promise you, you'll have a good time. Bring your children. We are a kid-friendly environment. We have a great singer, Aaron Stiers, who's going to be singing throughout the barbecue. It's indoors in case it's hot, and and you'll just enjoy being out there. But I hear the weather is going to be great, and you can walk all over the grounds. If you haven't been lately, there are great hiking trails in all over Lichterman Nature Center. And for kids, it's great. You can get hands-on experiences with all sorts of animals, snakes. We have a great children's director that loves working with kids, and she'll be doing that night.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and really looking forward to those great fundraisers.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Once again, that was Kava Sidney. Make sure to check out the Pink Palace's fantastic season.
Now we are going to go back over to our own festival entertainment stage where Amelia Beckham will perform Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Take it away, Amelia. That was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, sung by Amelia Beckham. We're going to talk with Amelia in just a minute.
But first we have to take a quick break, but don't go away. There's plenty more exciting live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival to come. Please stay with us.
You can now watch your favorite Germantown community television shows from anywhere in the world. GHS-TV is streaming online, live 24/7. A viewing screen displays our channel just like you see on television. Simply visit our website at www.ghstv.org. So log on and enjoy hometown news from anywhere in the world, only at ghstv.org.
Every day is so wonderful. Suddenly, it's hard to breathe.
Would it be okay if I sat here?
Is she serious? Whatever. New girl. Yes, words can't bring me down.
Reaching out. Pass it on.
So don't you bring me
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television, your hometown news and information station.
Thanks for tuning in to Germantown Community Television's live coverage of Festival 2013. If you are just joining us, I'm Justin Rowland, and this is my co-host, Madison Arthur. We'll be on air until 5 o'clock tonight, giving you an exclusive tour around the festival without ever having to leave your seat. Our team of reporters have got you covered.
You're right, Justin. There's still plenty of time left to come out to the festival grounds at the Germantown Civic Club Complex. The festival will be open until 6 o'clock tonight. But before the break, we heard Amelia Beckham perform Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Amelia joins us now. Welcome to the show, Amelia.
Thank you.
So, how long have you actually been performing?
Well, I've been performing about 5 years, but I've been taking guitar about 4 years.
And I read that you do Praise Team. Will you tell me a little bit about what Praise Team is and what y'all do?
Sure. So basically we go to church and then we go and we normally do about 3 songs. We perform for the kindergarten and first graders and the second and third graders in 2 different rooms. And then we sing about, 3 songs, and then they do worship with us and then they go on.
So does Praise Team perform at any other events, or what kind of a...
No, it's just a couple people in a room. My sister and I do it, and my best friend and her friend are doing it.
Excellent. Well, you said you just play guitar, and it sounded fantastic, by the way. But what got you inspired to start playing the guitar?
Well, I had always been like a fan of air guitaring, sort of, and so my mom, she got a friend, and she had a big full-size guitar, and I tried to strum it, but it was just too huge, so I just got my own and I started playing.
Well, thank you so much, Amelia, for joining us today. That was a beautiful song, and we are so glad that we got to have you.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Amelia Beckham, one of the many great performers we've lined up for today's cable cast.
If there were a Hall of Fame for the festival's running of the weenies, this next pup would be a shoo-in. Nitro had won for the last 3 races coming into yesterday's competition, but as reporter Cooper Turrell and videographer Sean Byrne show us, this 4-legged star runs for much more than glory.
Each year, the Germantown Festival's Running of the Weenies draws in contestants to compete for a charity of their choice. And this year's race could mark the 4th straight win for returning champion Vinny Liberto and his dog Nitro. But for Liberto, the race means much more than winning.
I put a lot of thought into my charity. A lot of people race for animal shelters and dots and rescue programs, and I really just wanted to race for something that meant a lot to me.
The charity he's talking about is the Wounded Warrior Project, a program that helps returning soldiers get back on their feet.
It's a place to help them. If they're injured or whatnot, they're able to come there, get the help they need, mentally and physically, and then they, get to come back home.
For Liberto, the Wounded Warrior Project is especially dear.
And a good buddy of mine, he was a Marine. He went through the program. He was blown up in Afghanistan, so hits closer to home when you have a friend who goes through a project like that, and you can see the benefits that it gave them.
Even if Nitro doesn't take gold in this year's race, Liberto's hope is that once his dog comes out onto the racetrack, he will build an awareness for the program.
A lot of people don't know what Wounded Warrior Project is. So when they hear, when they're introducing my dog before his race, that he's racing for the Wounded Warrior Project, that might spark something in their head, say, wonder what this is all about. And, they'll look into it and see how great of a thing it really is.
For Germantown Community Television, I'm Cooper Turrell.
Thanks, Cooper and Sean. Tune in later to find out if Nitro can defend his crown. So, Madison, Nitro is just blowing away the competition. What do you think about it? What do you think about the running of the weenies?
It's a really cool race. I think it's really awesome to something so unique with weenie dogs. You get to see them race. That was awesome, and Nitro did really well for himself.
Absolutely. You really don't see that anywhere else other than right here at the Germantown Civic Festival, so that's pretty fantastic.
Awesome.
Next up, we are going to visit with David Silberman, the marketing director of March of Dimes, and Joel Parsons, the exhibitions coordinator of the National Ornamental Metal Museum. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Silverman, I'll start with you. Just can you tell viewers a little bit about what the March of Dimes is?
Sure. We're actually celebrating our 75th anniversary this year. The March of Dimes was founded back in 1938 by President Roosevelt, and its original mission was to fight polio. And it continued that way until the 50s when the first polio vaccine was developed. And the mission changed in the early 60s to what it is today, and that is to make sure that all babies are born healthy. And this is so significant for us here in the Memphis metropolitan area because unfortunately we have the highest rates of infant mortality in the country, not just here in the South, but in the entire United States.
Well, that's an excellent cause for definitely supporting that. So now, the National Ornamental Metal Museum is one of the most unique museums in Memphis, but I've read that not only do you guys have art that's been made, but you can see art being made at the museum. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a really really unique place. It's the only metal museum in the whole country. It's right here in Memphis. And in addition to our galleries that are full of the best metalwork, both historic and contemporary, from jewelry to hollowware to knives. We also have a working blacksmith shop and a working foundry where you can come see metal artists making the greatest metal art of today.
Again, we're on live TV, so we apologize for the train in the background, but you never know what's going to happen. So could you tell us a little bit about some upcoming events March of Dimes has?
Yeah, one of our major events will be happening on November 3rd. It's called Signature Chef's Auction. It's going to take place at the East Memphis Hilton. And about 400 to 500 people representing a lot of the major companies in town will be there to support the March of Dimes. The event is it's a tasting. So we will have 20 or 25 chefs supported by Erlene Jensen, and also live and silent auction. So that's our major fall event. And then in the spring, we have another major event called March for Babies. And this is a 4.5-mile walk that takes place at Shelby Farms the last Saturday in April.
Excellent.
And Mr. Silverman, what's the biggest issue your organization deals with in the Mid-South?
Well, again, it has to do with making sure that babies are born healthy. Unfortunately, the Mid-South, as I said, has a very high rate of infant mortality, caused a lot by high rates of prematurity. So our mission is how do we reduce those rates of prematurity, and that's by working with women who are pregnant and who plan to get pregnant to make sure that they get the proper prenatal care that they get. And if we can do that for all the women here in the Mid-South, we can lower those rates of infant mortality significantly.
Now, the National Ornamental Metal Museum had a couple exhibitions closed just today. Can you tell us about those exhibitions and how they went?
Yeah, we're always changing out the work in the galleries. There's always something new to see. We're really excited about an exhibition called Tom Latney, Master Metalsmith. He's an amazing artist, old school, classic blacksmith, artist blacksmith. And we're actually turning all the galleries in the building over to his work. And he makes knives and kitchen implements and tools and locks and keys, really intricate, amazing design work. He's influenced by Scandinavian design and early American design. And he's actually he's the Master Metalsmith for 2013, which means he'll be here for Repair Days in early October.
Excellent. Well, can you tell us a little bit more about those Repair Days?
Yeah, sure. Repair Days is a great weekend. It's a lot of fun. It takes place October 4th, 5th, and 6th. And we'll have hundreds of blacksmiths come in from all over the country and a few from around the world. And they come, some of them camp out at the Metal Museum, and they volunteer their time and their skills to the museum and the people of Memphis to repair broken or damaged metal goods. And so for a donation to the museum, you can get your cutlery sharpened, you can get pots and pans fixed up and retinned, you can get garden statuary or garden furniture repaired. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great event. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Well, very quickly, could you tell viewers how they could go about supporting the March of Dimes and the National Ornamental Metal Museum?
Well, the March of Dimes, we have a website called marchforbabies.org, which we encourage people to go on. They can register their corporation, their family team to support the March of Dimes, or they can contact us. Our office is in East Memphis.
Excellent, excellent.
Our website is metalmuseum.org. That's where you can find all the latest information about our exhibitions and our events and our classes and everything that we're doing in the community. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and keep up to date with all the latest news.
Well, thank you guys both so much for being on the show today. I really enjoyed hearing about both the organizations. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Once again, we'd like to thank David Silberman and Joel Parsons for being on our show today to talk about their fantastic organizations. Throughout this afternoon's cablecast, we've heard from our two field reporters, Matt Coons and India Ratliff. Right now, let's check in with India for the latest from the festival grounds. India?
Thanks, Justin. Want that chic look of an antique furniture without always worrying about it breaking? Well, look no further. Here at the Germantown Festival, we have Matric Frames. How are you today, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Can you tell me a little bit about what you offer here at Matric Frames?
Yes, we do handcrafted distressed frames in all sizes, and we also do furniture, dog beds, unique things like that. They're all one of a kind, so you don't have one like everybody else's.
Can you tell me a little bit about what makes your product different than other frames?
Well, a lot of people ask me, do you get them from antique stores or whatever? No, we make our own, and we buy the molding and we, distress them. And I would say that's just, it's just different. We spend so much money on our pictures, why don't we put them in great frames that really accent them?
Well, I see here that it looks like they're actually really sturdy compared to other antique type frames.
Well, some of them are, out of oak and cedar and walnut, different ones, different moldings. They go by the price goes by the size of the molding, not the size of the frame. So, but they're all very good and very priced reasonably.
So, if you want to achieve that wonderful look of an antique furniture without having to worry about sitting on it and it collapsing up under you, you can head on down to the Germantown Festival where Matric Frames has got you covered. Back to you, guys.
Thanks, India. We're looking forward to another great update on the festival.
Now, Madison, as I'm sure you know, and the viewers at home know, it is hot,
really
outside.
hot.
What do you think about the weather at this year's festival?
Right now, I'm going to say that it's pretty miserable. But it's still just a great day to just come out to the festival.
Much better than pouring down rain.
That's
so definitely get out and enjoy the nice sun, the last part of summer. Janie Day is the Executive Director of the Germantown Chamber of Commerce, and Donna Chandler-Newman, the Executive Director of Leadership Germantown, are here with us now to talk about their organizations and upcoming events. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to be here.
I love your face.
Oh, thank you.
Very pretty.
Well, I had to contribute to the Germantown TV, the Germantown High School TV, because
definitely.
And I do know that the money goes to the Fine Arts Department, so.
Well, we definitely
when you get involved.
appreciate
Thank you. I think I'll just send a check.
Well, Miss Day, I'll start with you. The festival is always a big event on the Chamber's schedule.
Yes.
How is the Chamber involved this year?
Every year we invite many of our members to come out and be in our tent, which is provided to us by Hicks, and a fan, which was also very nice for this year anyway. And we have lots of our members who can come out and talk about what they are selling. They can't really sell anything in our booth, but they can bring their marketing materials and things of that nature. So it really supports our members, which is our whole intention.
And Leadership Germantown is a fantastic Germantown organization.
Thank you.
How does Leadership Germantown, what role does Leadership Germantown play in building a healthy community?
Oh gosh, so many roles in that. We're very, very privileged to have the opportunity to do that. In fact, our entire purpose for being is to make the community even better than what it is. And so we have a series of sessions that people go through our community leaders go through in order to be exposed to issues and things that are going on within the community and places to plug in for volunteer opportunities. It's a good opportunity to get exposed to the community and to understand more about it than you already knew, and then to also network and to know other community leaders.
Absolutely.
And Ms. Newman, what is the biggest change that you see in participants as they go through Leadership Germantown?
Oh gosh, so many changes. You know, when they first come in, there's a lot of apprehension. I myself even thought, goodness gracious, what am I going to learn? Because I'm a longtime Germantown gal.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think what you actually learn are the available opportunities and things that have become new in the community that you may not have noticed because you take so much for granted. So what we see when people come into the first day is that, you know, they're apprehensive about what they're going to do, and when they leave, they're so excited and thrilled, and most importantly, happy to be associated with Germantown.
Now, Miss Day, here we are
Yes.
at the Germantown Festival. That means that the Taste of Town is coming up. Tell us
Yes.
about this year's Taste of Town.
Yes, it is September 22nd at the Hilton, Memphis, and it's a great event. The live auction supports Make-A-Wish, and the silent auction supports the Chamber. We have 40 food and wine vendors who will be there, from Elfos to barbecue to pizza. And there's going to be a wine pool, which is always a great event. The cost of tickets is $70, and you can call the Chamber and get those done. This is our 13th year, so last year and the year before we were able to grant 4 wishes, which is about $5,000 a wish. So
Wow.
we have a great lineup this year, so I really encourage everyone to come. It's really a terrific.
That's really
Yes, it really is.
I agree, it's a lot of fun.
It is. It is a lot of fun.
So, Miss Newman, can you tell us a little bit about what's some exciting events coming up for Leadership Germantown?
Yes, right now we're taking in we're recruiting for our next class, the class of 2014, which is our 18th class ever. There will be over 400 graduates, including my friend here, Janie Day. We were a leadership class together in 2004. Honestly, wonderful people coming through it. We're recruiting for our next class now, and at the festival right now, for the very first time, we have a festival t-shirt, the official Germantown Festival t-shirt. You like that?
Yeah,
Very cute. I love
We
it.
called the festival and said, gosh, we think there ought to be a
Wow.
festival t-shirt. They were thrilled to death to do that.
That's
so we
great.
actually have 2 booths here this time. We're doing voters registration, of course, also talking and having people sign up for Leadership Germantown and selling our t-shirt for
Fantastic.
$12. Then we're really happy to have them.
That looks fabulous.
We're close to running out, but we're taking orders.
Well, take us through, take the viewers through a year in the program at Leadership
I'd
Germantown.
be happy to. You start in January and you have a social, and that's where you kind of get to know each other. That's where the apprehension begins. Next, we take them to Heber Springs and we go through Team Trek, which Janie and I didn't have the opportunity to do. But it's a 3-day leadership course where you learn a lot about yourself that you, believe me, it's the most earth-shattering course that I've been through in a long time. And it truly, and many corporations go through this course, and for the what our entire tuition is, that's what it costs the corporation to put an individual through. So it's really a great value to our people. From there, we go usually to county schools, and this year we're going to be adding municipal schools and some education on what goes on in that area. We take them through state government. We go up and meet the governor. We see the Capitol. We meet the representatives, have lunch with them. We go through county government, meet the county mayor. We have a lunch with him, of course, and the commissioners, who usually are having some kind of bantering, shall we say, go on right in front of us, which is a lot of fun. Then we go through Public Safety Day, which for us is a lot of fun with the city. You dress up like firemen. You actually put out fires with the firemen. You dress up, well, you don't dress up like policemen, but you put on the forensic glasses and you do forensic things with the policemen and shoot guns down in their indoor shooting range, which is like fascinating. An AK-47 almost kicked me over. It was a lot of fun, though. I mean, it's quite the day. Very memorable for most people. We have 10 sessions in all that we do. We go through Germantown business. We go through the hospitals here. That's a big business for us. We make a special day for it, for our medical community. And then we have graduation in quality of life, where we go through all our parks, etc. And then we have graduation in June, which is quite an event always. Our mayor speaks with us. They spend a lot of time with our local officials as well as our state and our county officials. It's a lot of fun. It's a growth experience. Many people think that they already know all the issues and all the rest of it, but so many eyes are open that it's exciting for all of us, even us old-timers.
Well, it feels like we just got you guys on stage, but it looks like we're out of time
I
talking
understand.
to you guys. But definitely looking forward to both seasons.
Okay.
Thank
you
so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I'll be a taste.
Our thanks to Janie Day and Donna Chandler Newman for joining us on the show today.
Right now, let's go over to our GHS-TV entertainment stage, where Philip Austin will sing Come Back Home.
Walk on by like I'm not here. Move on with your life, make it clear that you don't want me, that you don't want me. Tell your friends that I'm the one to blame. Go ahead, girl, curse my name like you don't love me, like you don't love me. But baby, when it's said and done, I will always love you, and you can come back home whenever you want to. I'll be right here waiting on you. So baby, come back home. Come on back, let's make this last. Leave our troubles in the past. You can trust in me, you can count on me. 'Cause baby, when it's said and done, I will always love you, and you can come back home whenever you want to. I'll be right here waiting on you. So baby, come back home. 'Cause every minute that we waste, baby, is another minute of life without you, baby. When it's said and done, I will always love you, and you can come back home whenever you want to. I'll be right here waiting on you. So baby, come back home. Come back home. Come back home. Come back home.
We'll have more great performances and a chance to talk with Philip Austin when we return from this short break. There's much more to see. We'll visit with folks from the Mississippi River Kings and Shelby Farm, so please stay with us as we go behind the scenes of Festival 2013.
For more than 20 years, we've brought you quality programming. We're your hometown news and information station, Germantown Community Television. Our Access Together series puts you in touch with what's happening in Germantown, with programs that both enlighten and entertain. For hometown hosts, a hometown attitude, and a genuine concern for you, our hometown viewers, stay tuned to Channel 17 each week and weekend for a new Access program. Produced in the nation's #1 educational TV facility, the award-winning Access Together series. Only on the station that puts you first, Germantown Community Television.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television, your hometown news and information station.
Welcome back to GHS-TV's live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival. I'm Justin Rowland, and this is my co-host, Madison Arthur.
Before the break, we heard Philip Austin sing Come Back Home on our very own GHS-TV entertainment stage. He joins us now. Welcome, Philip.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for coming out on this really hot day.
Oh man, it's hot. I appreciate you inviting me.
Now, Philip, obviously the song you just sang was a country song. Tell us why you chose this type above others.
Well, I actually wrote the song, Come Back Home, and if you can't tell by my accent, anything I sing sounds country. So that's why I chose country song, other than the fact that I also love country music. So that's kind of the inspiration behind the song and why it's a country genre.
Tell us a little bit about the process of writing a song. Like, what inspired?
Oh gosh, you know, I'm probably not a traditional writer like most people who sit down and write their music. I kind of, you know, let it come as it goes. So I might be driving down the road, I might be in the shower. Who knows where I am, and I'll just sing a line here or there, and then maybe a week or two later, I'll get another line in the music. And go, oh, that might go with that song, and so I just piece it together.
So I know you mentioned that you work in hospitals in your bio. So is music a career that you want to pursue?
It's a career. I'm currently a registered nurse who just moved to Nashville, and I just got hired on with Centennial Medical Center, so I'll be working there. But music, to be an artist, has always been my goal and my passion. So I finally decided, hey, let me just pursue this and go with it. So.
Well, thank you so much, Philip, for
coming out today.
Thank
you guys for inviting me. I enjoyed it.
Really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Thank you so much.
Once again, that was Philip Austin, who sang Come Back Home. Be sure to stay tuned for more great performances throughout the show.
Earlier in the show, we introduced you to Nitro, the speedy dachshund who's won the last 3 running of the Reenies. Did he make it 4? Reporter McLean Mayers and videographer Brandon Lau answer that question, and a few more.
Running of the Weenies always brings an afternoon filled with fun and laughter, and this year is no different.
I've always been a fan of the reading races since I moved to Memphis in 2007. Been coming every year since. I always try to encourage people to come to it because I think it's a lot of fun for the family. I think it's more like NASCAR actually, because there's a big pileup in the track.
When the races were all finished, Nitro came out on top for the 4th year in a row. And while it must feel great to be top dog, there's always a greater purpose. Each dog runs for its own charity.
The Street Dog Foundation. Yeah, I think it's a relatively new organization, and basically I became interested in it because when I drive to work every day, I see a lot of dogs.
They rescue the abandoned and stray dogs, and then they're nursed back to health and they're adopted out.
There are some dogs, like Dash, that come from troubled pasts, but luckily are rescued by new owners.
Actually, Dash was running on the side of the road up in North Alabama, and it was just a quick turn of my car and saw him there, and he just looked lost.
While some dogs won't even cross the finish line, their motive for racing will always take the top prize. For Germantown Community Television, I'm McLean Mayers.
We're going to get lined up.
Thanks, McLean and Brandon. The race may be over, but you'll still find some of those cute competitions walking the festival grounds.
Next up, we have 2 very special guests, David Schmoll, the broadcaster and media relations director of the Mississippi River Kings, and Rebecca Daly, the communications coordinator of the Shelby Farms Park Conservancy. Guys, welcome to the stage.
Thanks for having us.
Now, Miss Daly, I'll start with you. The Shelby Farms seems to add on a bunch of new things every single year. What are some of the main attractions that Shelby Farms offers to viewers?
With 4,500 acres, there are a lot of ways to enjoy the park, from horseback riding to bike riding to fishing to sailing. You name it, you can do it at the park.
And Mr. Schmoll, I know that the season hasn't quite started yet, but how have preparations been coming for the team this year?
Preparations, I mean, they've been ongoing since the end of last season. There's never really, everybody talks about an off season in hockey, but when you're working in it, there never really seems to be an off season. So teams getting formed, and we're getting all of our promotions ready to go for next season.
Excellent.
And Miss Daly, I know that the Green Line seems to get more and more popular each year. What prompted the establishment of the Green Line?
It really does get more popular. We were recently named Tennessee's favorite trail by the Rails to Trails Conservancy, which is a big honor. So the project was started as part of our mission to increase connectivity for cyclists and pedestrians to the park from all over the county. And we just took an unused rail line and transformed it into a great shared use trail.
Now, Mr. Schmoll, everybody says hockey's a spectator sport, and you have to be at the game to really enjoy that. Why do you think that that's the way it is?
It's very, very hard to describe it. Listening to it on the radio, it's tough to feel the emotion, to feel the atmosphere. As the broadcaster, it's hard for me to convey. It's difficult to convey all of the things that are going on. It's so fast. There's so much going on, whether it's a check behind the play, even watching it on TV. There's so much stuff going on that it's very, very difficult to take it all in unless you're there.
Now, it's always hard to get out to a sporting event because of such high ticket prices, but I hear that's not the case with the River King. So how much does it cost to come to a game?
This year we lowered ticket prices across the board, so you can come out to a game for as little as $5 a ticket. Wow. So it's very, very affordable. It's in a great location, so there's really no excuse for anybody not to come.
Yeah.
And Miss Daly, one of my favorite parts about Shelby Farms is Starry Nights. Can you tell us a little bit about the preparation work that goes towards that and what all it takes?
Sure. Starry Nights is actually a year-round event for us. By the time the show closes, we're already starting preparations for the next year. We logged more than 30,000 volunteer hours last year, and a significant portion of those are dedicated to volunteers that come in and help us wrap the displays, as well as our hardworking rangers who work to put those together. So it's a big production with more than 1 million lights going up.
That's awesome.
Now, at Starry Nights, I know there seems to be some kind of new segment each year or different things thrown in. Can anybody expect any surprises in the stars this year?
You can. We're going to be premiering 12 new exhibits, and we'll be expanding Mistletoe Village to actually incorporate some new activities, including ice sculptures, and we'll have camel rides and carriage rides again.
Now, Mr. Schmoll, are there any ticket packages or specials that are offered for the fans?
Yeah, I mean, we have our student night for college students. It's every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and that's $5 off any ticket price except for the $5 seats. And then we also have our family 4-pack nights on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, family of 4 for $56. It's 4 red level seats, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas, and that includes all the Ticketmaster fees and all that.
Now, for the both of you, can you tell me a little bit about how your organizations work to get the community involved or work with the community or different programs in the community?
Sure. We love partnering with different organizations throughout the community as well as individuals. And as I mentioned, it takes more than 30,000 volunteer hours every year to take care of the park. It's a big job, and we need help doing everything from helping us coordinate event production, from parking to ticket sales, to helping us at the front desk or even out in the park clearing trails, planting trees. Just pretty much any way you'd like to get involved, we can make it happen.
Fantastic.
For us being owned by a nonprofit organization, the Maddox Foundation, it kind of forces us to get out in the community and be very, very active. So we're involved with various nonprofit organizations, and we also have our Noah's Gift 5K, which is held in Hernando, Mississippi, that really brings a lot of volunteers, a lot of high school age students who come and volunteer their time and really help us put on a big event.
And Mr. Schmoll, for fans that still can't make it out, even with these great deals, how do they keep up with the team?
You can keep up with us on riverkings.com, or you can tune into all the away games on Sports 56, and that's the best way to really stay connected. Also, social media, Facebook and Twitter.
Now, Ms. Daly, as you said, the Shelby Farms is one of the biggest parks in the nation, and there really is something for everybody. What are some of your favorite things to do at Shelby Farms?
I love to bike ride, mostly on the paved trails, but it's a great place to do that. And I also love to take wildlife hikes and do a little bit of photography.
Now, for the both of you, where can viewers go to find out more about both your organizations?
You can find us at shelbyfarmspark.org, and you can also find us on social media, so Facebook and Twitter at Shelby Farms Park.
For us, it's riverkings.com, our website, and then also you can check us out on Facebook or on Twitter at riverkings.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks so much to the both of you for coming out on the show day. And, you know, I find myself out at Shelby Farms all the time, and so I'll definitely check out what you guys have this season, and definitely looking forward to watching the River Kings. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, that was David Schmoll and Rebecca Daly. Thanks to both of them for taking the time out of their busy schedule to join us.
Right now, we are going back over to Matt Coons, one of our live GHS-TV field reporters, with some news on the festival grounds. Matt?
Thanks, Maddie. I'm here with Danny Williamson, someone who's going to tell me how to keep our pets healthy and our wallets fat. Thank you for joining me, Mrs. Williamson.
Thank you.
Can you tell me what PetVax is exactly?
We have 4 full-service locations. We have our mobile vaccine clinic that goes to different Hollywood feeds throughout the week. We also offer discount spays and neuters and low-cost vaccinations.
What's the difference between PetVax and, say, just my normal vet?
We're all walk-in Monday through Fridays, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 2, and our vaccines and our well pet stuff tend to be significantly less than your regular vet.
And I see that you brought some animals out here with us today. Can you tell me why?
Theo's actually a dog that got dropped off at one of our locations, so he just kind of came out to get out and see everybody and get socialized.
Well, that's great. So you said you offer discount things. Can you give me some of those discounts?
All of our vaccine prices are normally about half the cost of your regular vet, so our spays and neuters.
And can you list some of those vaccines for me?
We do your annual 7-in-1, your rabies, distemper, parvo, corona for your dogs, your rabies vaccines, your leukemia vaccines for your cats, heartworm testing, fecal exams, all of the basic stuff. We also sell heartworm prevention and flea and tick prevention as well.
Well, that's wonderful. I heard you talking to a man earlier about his pet's records. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, if you just sign something, you know, we can send your records to your normal vet, because we have some people who just come in just to get vaccines because they are, you know, so much cheaper than everywhere else that you go. So we can send those over. If you bring in your records, we can see what your pet has had done, so we can make sure that we get everything done that your pet needs.
And what kind of animals do you offer these services to?
Pretty much everything. If you got it, we can take care of it. We have doctors that will see, you know, pretty much anything you got. We've had some really random animals come in, and Dr. Worley, who's our main vet that'll do it, she's like, oh yep, if they got it, we can see it. So normally we can do pretty much anything.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Williamson.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, I know I'm going to PetVax for a way to keep my wallet from going belly up. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks for that inside scoop, Matt. Now, Madison, I know being at the festival each year always brings back memories from the year before. Do you remember your first festival?
I do. I'm pretty sure I was 6, and I definitely came just to get the dresses for the little kids. That's always the #1 thing to do when you're little. So,
I moved here in 2005, and one of the first things everybody told me about was like, you have to go out to the Germantown Festival, and I really saw what kind of a community Germantown was just by coming, so it was really fantastic.
Definitely.
Joining us now on the show is Dr. Larry Hendricks, one of the doctors at the Germantown Animal Hospital, and Walker Taylor, the owner of the Germantown Commissary. Guys, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. So, Mr. Hendricks, I'm going to start with you. Pets can be seen all over and around the Germantown Festival, and they're always a joy to be around. What can you say for the pets of the Germantown Hospital care for?
Coming to the festival?
Yes.
Well, they hope their owners give them plenty of water and try to keep them in the shade. The dogs I've seen out here have been real well behaved, and I think they're a member of the family, and people like to get out and socialize with their dog. It's good for the dogs too.
Well, Dr. Larry Hendricks was saying give them plenty of water. It's definitely hot, as we mentioned before, but even in the hot weather, the Germantown Commissary is still one of the biggest hits at the Germantown Festival. How and when did the booth over there get started?
We've been participating in the Germantown Festival back when it was even on the street and it wasn't at the park. So we've been back up here now for about 20 years. And we subscribe to the same thing Dr. Hendricks does, give your employees lots of water.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How is the commissary? You said you've been here since it's on the street. How has the stand evolved over the years?
I'm sorry?
How is the Germantown Commissary stand evolved over the years?
It's just something we got into after several years of being in the restaurant business. We do concessions. We don't do as many as we used to. We just kind of like to stick close to home. Germantown Festival, the Charity Horse Show, Pink Palace Grass Fair, stuff like that. So
And Mr. Hendricks, as you may know, they do this big event called the Weenie Dog Races. Have you had a chance to look at that?
Yeah, I have, and I think it's one of the best things at the festival. We've had at our clinic a winner, a dog that actually had hip surgery and was rehabilitated so well that it won the weenie run like 2 years in a row.
That is awesome. That's
the
really
owner
cool.
had a secret weapon though. Her dog adored her, and the day of the festival she'd stay gone all day. And then she'd be at that finish line and the dog would be so glad to see her, you know, it would win the race.
Strategy.
That's really, yeah.
So, you know, obviously the dogs that run in the races are usually, you know, in tip-top shape, but what are some what are some tips for viewers to keep their pets healthy?
I think number one, take them to the vet clinic once a year for a good checkup. Also, all dogs in this part of the country need to be on heartworm preventative. And then I recommend watching their weight. We see too many dogs that are overweight.
Absolutely.
Because if they're the right weight, it adds a couple of years to their life.
Yeah, definitely. And Mr. Taylor, the commissary is one of the Germantown's most famous attractions. How has it gained such popularity over the years?
Well, I just think over time we've hopefully continued to serve a good product and make people feel comfortable and welcome there, and just build upon that over the years.
Now, people come from all around the world to get a Germantown commissary barbecue, but is there any way that people that don't live in Germantown or are in Germantown can get the barbecue to them?
Absolutely. You can go to commissarybarbecue.com, commissarybbq.com, and we have a web page there, an online store, and you can do it right over your PC, your Mac, whatever, iPad. Do it on your phone. Order it right from there.
Excellent. And I know that Germantown Animal Hospital, actually, I've been on the website, and you guys have a couple live cams on the website, am I correct?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about those.
Well, we will put that webcam on a dog when it's waking up from anesthesia so that the owners can watch their dog wake up at home. We had a dog recently we did knee surgery on, and the owners lived in Germantown but had moved to Chicago. So their in-laws brought the dog in for us to have the surgery done here, and they got to watch their dog wake up in Chicago. So we'll also hook it up on a dog we want to watch all night, and we can watch them from home.
Excellent. Now, can you give us the name of that website one more time?
I don't have it with me.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. Well, we
call the clinic and we can.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Well, I appreciate both of you guys being on the show today and talking about your organizations. Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank
you. Good
you.
being here.
Once again, that was Dr. Larry Hendricks and Walker Taylor. Thanks to both of them for taking the time to join us.
Now we are going to go back over to our own festival entertainment stage where Elena Brommer will perform Oh Darling. Elena?
Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never do you no harm. Believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. When you told me that you didn't need me anymore, well, you know, I nearly broke down and cried. When you told me that you did not need me no more, well, you know, I nearly broke down and died. Darling, if you leave me, I'll never make it home. Believe me when I tell you, I'll never make it alone. No, no, no.
That was Oh Darling, sung by Elena Brommer. We're going to talk with Elena in just a minute.
Right now, we'd like to thank some very special companies who have helped make this show possible. Our thanks to Goodwin's Nursery, Wendy's, Train Supply, and Lenny's Sub Shop.
Artisans come from far and wide to sell their crafts here at the Germantown Festival. Over 400 vendors are here selling most anything you can think of. Reporter Maria Herrera and videographer Zach Leonard introduce us to a couple of new faces of this year's festival.
Germantown Festival is here once again. Former festival goers David Carlisle and Brian Manis turn into first-time vendors this year, sharing their artistic skills with the Mid-South community. David Carlisle, former Riverdale Elementary School principal, now looks at the festival through the eyes of the vendor.
Well, I've probably been woodworking for about 15 years. It was my hobby when I was still working, but being a principal at Riverdale School, I had very little time to do a hobby.
His chairs are quality and made to last.
This thing weighs about 45 pounds, so it's not going to blow around in your backyard. It's not going to fall apart. It's very sturdy.
Brian Menace will be taking orders and creating them in his personal art studio, which consists of fused glass such as his famous tic-tac-toe boards.
Now this is, it's a tic-tac-toe board that is in production. I have done a couple of front doors for people, a couple of things for church camps, big windows.
He is new at the festival, but he is very familiar with his craft. He is a 20-year-old veteran and has done a variety of small and big projects.
It's always a two-step process. Whenever you're doing fused glass, which is what I'm really working on now, the Germantown Festival will be more fused glass than anything, just because the number of hours that it takes me to do a large piece.
Over 100,000 people will be visiting the Germantown Festival grounds this weekend, and these are just two of only 400 unique vendors. Reporting for Germantown Community Television, I'm Maria Herrera.
Thanks, Maria and Zach. The festival is open till 6 tonight, so there's still time to shop with some of those unique artisans.
Just a few minutes ago, we heard Elena Brommer perform Oh Darling on our very own entertainment stage. Elena joins us now. Welcome, Elena.
Hi.
So wonderful song, that was really good.
Thank you.
So I read that you taught yourself how to play the ukulele. So why did you pick such a unique instrument?
Well, I took piano when I was little, so I kind of had a good base for instruments, and I tried to play guitar, and it's too hard for me. I can do it now, but I was just it was too hard for me. And ukulele has only 4 strings, and it's a perfect little size, and I love the sound of it. And so it was just a lot easier to start, getting for the first stringed instrument, it's a good start.
So how long have you been playing the ukulele for?
I guess just a year and a half now, not very long.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How long have you been singing, or?
I've been singing since I was 8 or 9, a long time.
And what type of music do you normally prefer to sing?
I like soulful stuff, like that song that I just sang. I like when it's soulful and when you can do something that has a good rhythm and you can kind of feel it more. That's
Are you in any particular shows or groups right now?
I'm in the show choir at Houston High School, so I've been doing that since freshman year. And I'm not in any plays right now, but I was in Greece this summer at Herald Theater. So,
well, thank you so much, Elena, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Elena Brommer, one of the many talented performers who will join us on the entertainment stage.
The Germantown Festival prides itself on being a family event. There's shopping for the adults and a game land for kids. But the game land features some new additions this year that have been entertaining kids of all ages. Reporter Kelsey Kimball and videographer Ethan Morton show us the fun.
Every year at the Germantown Festival, Gameland is an obvious family favorite for the younger-aged kids, but this year it seems to have grown up just a bit.
Everything else is kind of for younger kids, so this gives me something to do here.
It's our first time here, and it's really cool. The addition of video games to the Germantown Festival has turned out to be a huge hit.
Is that this becomes one of our most popular attractions at the fair. We want to see how successful this event turns out to be, and then we can expand from there.
Definitely something for the older kids, the teens and the tweens. They will really have a great time on the video game truck.
Even the idea of air conditioning brings in the kids.
But this is air conditioning and really fun. And
It has air conditioning, so it's maybe a little nicer for older kids.
From Madden 25 to Just Dance and other assorted video games, it seems as if the kids here just can't get enough. But the festival has even more to offer the thrill seeker.
This is our first year actually at this festival.
A mechanical bull named Hammer Time is also making his first appearance here at the festival.
Oh, this is the best job ever. It definitely is fun to watch everyone ride and see a lot of different people.
Well, it was a lot harder than I thought, but it was pretty cool. The bull ride was pretty awesome.
It looks like everyone is having a blast here at Germantown Festival 2013.
Yeah, the Germantown Festival, I can't wait for it every year.
awesome. It's great. Fun. It's great.
I've been here about 5 years, and it's like fun every time.
No matter what you originally came for, a stop by the video game trailer or the mechanical bull will be time well spent. There will never be a dull moment. Now let's see if I can get my 8 seconds in on Hammer Time back here. For Germantown Community Television, I'm Kelsey Kimball.
Thanks, Kelsey and Ethan. Bring the family out before the grounds close tonight at 6.
Now joining us, we have a guest who is very important to the city of Germantown. Mayor Sharon Goldsworthy joins us now. Welcome, Miss Mayor.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, the Germantown Festival is one of the biggest events in Germantown every year, and it seems to keep getting bigger. Why do you think the festival is so important to the community?
I think it's important because it's really like a hometown gathering in many ways. Certainly we have people coming from all over the Mid-South to come here and shop, and vendors from other places. But as you walk the grounds, you constantly run into friends, people who are running the booths, who are selling all sorts of good things to eat. And in many ways, it's kind of like a little mini reunion that after the summer, it's a chance to catch up with everyone. And I think that's one of the things that contributes to its popularity.
Rain or shine, Germantown Festival is always a big event. So what do you say draws everyone's attention?
I think part of it is people enjoy, first of all, the food that you get. There are things that you can buy to eat at a festival like this that you get nowhere else, but maybe that's making light of the other things that happen here. There's wonderful entertainment. The weenie race on Saturday, that has become a rich Germantown tradition that is just simply fun. And I think people are looking for fun as well. Lots of people are always looking for the latest in crafty kinds of things. And I can't think of another festival within our area that offers as much variety as this one does.
Now, the Germantown Festival brings in over hundreds of vendors and all the departments in the city work on the Germantown Festival, plenty of local businesses, and it all comes together so smooth. What do you think it is that makes everything work so well?
There is this incredible group, the Germantown Festival Association, of volunteers that work like no other group that I know of. Well, except we have lots of volunteer groups in Germantown that do extraordinary things. But that's especially true of the festival because they really rely on lots of people just to pitch in and work hard. The city is certainly supportive. Our Parks and Rec people, our public services, especially with the grounds, police department, with traffic control, fire department, with the emergency medical. So the city participates and supports, but it is really on the shoulders of some wonderful people who are willing to give their time to it.
Absolutely.
And how have you been involved in preparations leading up to the festival?
Actually, this is one of those things in which the mayor just kind of sits back and waits to be invited. No, I belong to a couple organizations that actually participate. I'm a member of Kiwanis, so I spent some time working the concessions for Kiwanis yesterday, and also with Germantown Women's Club bake sale. And so I'm involved just like a whole lot of other people are.
Excellent. Now, have you seen anything new and exciting at this year's festival?
There's almost always something new, and you tend to see it when people are leaving the festival and they're carrying home the latest thing to put in their yard or in their house or whatever. I haven't noticed anything in particular this year, but there's always great quality of the things that are available here, and I'm certain someone out there is selling something that no one's seen before.
And what would you say are some of your favorite festival memories in the past?
I can remember years and years and years ago, I've lived in Germantown a long time, in which a friend and I, we were doing simple little handcrafts, little stitchery things, and we bought a booth right over here in the parking lot, and we sat there for the 2 days and sold little Christmas ornaments and things like that.
Oh, wow.
So that goes back a very long time ago, and it certainly is one of the good memories. There's so many associated with the festival. I think the year that the Weenie Dog Race, we had done that as a festival to entertain some visiting Germans. The city had done a My Fest, and that was a one-time thing, but everybody loved the Weenie Dog Race. So when we asked the festival, would you like to take over this, they were delighted, and it was really nice to see that kind of take off with a different group of people doing it.
Past the Germantown Festival, what are some more upcoming exciting events for the city?
Oh golly, there are all sorts of things, kind of one right after the other. I would urge anyone who's not been to the farm park to go online and look for information about farm park through the Germantown website. We've got all sorts of fall harvest things going on over there, which is just a half mile from where we're sitting. Come late October, we have our Festival of Fun and Fright, which is great because there's one part for the little kids and one part for the big kids. All of that going on down at Cameron Brown Park. And then, of course, once we head into the holiday season, it's the annual tree lighting, then it's the holiday parade and other things that go along with it. It's kind of once school starts, we've got lots of things to do.
Does the city of Germantown have a part of their website where viewers can go to look at just a calendar of events?
Absolutely. If you go on it, you can probably look for a calendar, but going into Parks and Rec and looking for events, that's where you'll probably find most of the details about any of these events.
So what is the address for the city's website one time?
Okay, germantown-tn.gov, or I'm trying to think. I want to make certain that I had that right. If you Google Germantown, Tennessee, you'll find us.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Ms. Mayor. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for the invitation again.
Once again, we'd like to thank Mayor Sharon Goldsworthy for taking the time to join us today.
Right now, let's catch up with field reporter India Ratliff, live on the scene of this year's Germantown Festival. India?
Thanks, Maddie. Are you tired of the dull look of your stationary bed? Well, Swing Beds can help you get into the swing of things. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Can you tell me a little bit about what your product is?
Well, it's just a hanging, swinging bed. You can put it outside, inside, wherever you like.
Can you tell me a little bit about the wood that is made from the beds?
It is milled, kiln-dried cypress, so it's designed for outdoor use. But like I said, people do put them indoors. They put them in bedrooms, back porches, sunrooms, so you can really put it anywhere.
Can you tell me a little bit about how much weight can handle on the beds?
It will hold up to 1,000 pounds.
I read on your flyer that there was a special sale going on for the shows.
Yes, we are offering, if you purchase the swing bed and the hanging kit, then you get a free mattress.
Can you tell me a little bit how this product actually came to be?
I made one of these for my wife for Christmas in 2008, and we just had all of our neighbors were going crazy about it, how much they loved it. So I created a website. Within 2 weeks, I had my first $7,000 order going to Los Angeles, and we've shipped as far as Hong Kong since then.
Can you tell me a little bit about the sturdiness of the beds?
Oh, they're extremely sturdy. Like I said, you can park a car on these things. They'll hold well over 1,000 pounds. And in the whole time that we've been in business, we've never had an issue with one falling, and we've never had a single swing bed returned.
So swing on down to the Germantown Festival and get your swing bed today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, India. Our field reporters India Ratliff and Matt Coons will join us throughout the day with the inside scoop on the coolest parts of the Germantown Festival.
Right now, let's go over to our GHS-TV entertainment stage, where Prasanth Raj will sing Feeling Good.
Flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly is out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day it's done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, an uphold world for me. For me. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. I feel so good. I'm feeling so good.
That was Feeling Good, sung by Prashanth Raj. We're going to talk with Prashanth in just a minute. But first we have to take a quick break, but don't go away. There's plenty more exciting live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival to come. Please stay with us.
You can now watch your favorite Germantown community television shows from anywhere in the world. GHS-TV is streaming online, live 24/7. A viewing screen displays our channel just like you see on television. Simply visit our website at www.ghstv.org. So log on and enjoy hometown news from anywhere in the world, only at ghstv.org.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe.
Would it be okay if I sat here? Is she serious? Whatever. New girl.
Yes, words can't bring me down.
Reaching out. Pass it on.
So don't you bring me
A message
down.
from the Foundation for a Better Life.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television, your hometown news and information station.
Thanks for tuning in to GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television's live coverage of the 2013 Germantown Festival. I'm Madison Arthur, and this is my co-host, Justin Rowland. Our afternoon has been devoted to bringing you the best of the best when it comes to the festival, and what we have coming up is no different.
Right now, joining us on stage is Suzanne Leslie, an advisory board member with the Bartlett Performing Arts Center, and Heather Leslie, a member of the theater kids at the Bartlett Performing Arts Center. Ladies, thanks for coming on the show.
Sure, thank you for having us. So, I know that Bartlett Performing Arts Center is gearing up for a couple of shows. A Streetcar Named Desire. How have preparations and rehearsals been going for that?
Oh, very good, very good. We've got a great troupe, the local troupe that is performing that, and so we're looking forward to a great show.
Great show, yes.
What other exciting events do you guys have coming up at the Bartlett Performing Arts Center?
Oh, well, we have the Nutcracker coming up, and that's going to be amazing. This fall, for theater kids, we have Chatterbox Theater, where the kids not only get to create sound effects to make the story come to life, but we use our voices to act it out.
Tell viewers a little bit more about what Theater Kids is at the Bartlett Performing Arts
Theater
Center.
Kids. I've been a theater kid since it started, and it has changed my life. It makes me so happy. Theater Kids is where you can audition for a piece. Everyone gets a part, no matter what. And you do a show. Like this spring, we're doing High School Musical, and everyone gets a part. It's so wonderful. People get to come and see you. It's great.
Now, how could kids go about being involved in Theater Kids?
Theater Kids. You can go to our website at www.bpacc.org or call the box office at 385-6440. Also, you can, like in Theater Kids, you learn how to do makeup, acting, costuming. I learned about lights in Theater Kids. It's all around just a great theatrical experience.
So I know that Bartlett Performing Arts Center always has plenty of exciting holiday events. What can viewers expect this year?
Well, with our big holiday event this year is the Nutcracker Suite. It's a touring group that's coming in, and they're very professional, and we're looking forward to a great show with that one. So it should be great.
Now, I know the magician Mike Super, the winner of NBC's Phenomenon, is coming to the. That's a pretty big.
Yes, we are looking forward to that. One thing that the BPAC really strives to do is have something for everybody, and that's where they come into play with. We have local artists, magicians, touring shows, you name it. We've got a large variety.
Dinner stage theater also. That's wonderful. Eating dinner on stage with a live act. Wonderful.
Oh, tell us a little bit more about that. That sounds really cool.
I have actually worked many of the dinners. We have a local artist sometimes, like just any jazz players. We have piano players, singers, folk artists. They come, and you get to actually sit down on stage and eat dinner while watching these people perform.
Very intimate setting.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of different shows do you have dinner theater for?
Like what? We had a folk singer come. Like I said, jazz. Piano players.
Right, a little bit of variety for everybody. Yeah, so it's great entertainment.
Excellent. Well, jumping back just for a minute to the Mike Super performance, what can viewers expect when he comes on the stage?
Oh wow,
it's going to be a great show. Illusions.
Yes.
Yes. It's going to be a wonderful show.
We're looking forward to just a really good professional performance from him.
And family friendly.
Have you? What has it been like having a magician at the? Well, like what kind of preparations go into having a magician?
He's a one-man show, and he comes in and he does his own thing. So he pretty much comes in prepared, and it's minimal as far as what the BPAC has to do to prepare for him, because he is it, and so we're looking forward to seeing it ourselves.
Do y'all normally have just like professional people come in all throughout the year, or is this just something new that Bartlett?
Oh no,
all throughout the year. We had Frank D'Ambrosio, the longest running Phantom of the Opera. He came in. That was wonderful. John Lithgow. Who else have we had?
Let's see. We've had John Lithgow, Clint Black was just there.
Jimmy Webb
was there. That's the one thing about BPAC is they really do have some great performances and great acts that come to the conference center.
So as we can see, y'all are really busy just all throughout the year.
Yes.
What would you say is both of you guys' favorite part to probably put on?
Well, I love Theater Kids just because I love to be on stage with everyone. That's my favorite because it gets kids involved throughout the community, and I see them come back show after show, and it really makes me happy and it makes them happy. Theater Kids is definitely mine.
And I really like the Christmas shows and the dinner theaters. They're just a small, intimate setting. They have a nice dinner that's also involved in that. And it's just a really good evening at a good price. Usually tickets are around $35. But with many of the shows, you can get tickets range from anywhere from $8 to $20, $35, depending on the show. So It's family friendly and it's cost effective. Yeah, very, very affordable.
Now, I know that you just talked about a lot about theater kids. What are a couple other programs, and that where can viewers go to find out about more programs at the BPAC?
About theater kids?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, again, the website, www.bpacc.org, or call the box office at 385-6440.
Well, thank you guys both for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much to Suzanne Leslie and Heather Leslie. For more information, please visit their website.
Right now, let's catch up with field reporter Matt Coons, live on the scene of this year's Germantown Festival. Matt?
Thanks, Maddie. Are you just so done with all of your clothes lacking a certain type of uniqueness? Well, I'm here with Mr. Tonahill, who's going to help me fix that problem. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Tonahill.
Thank you for interviewing us.
Okay, can you explain to me exactly what is So Is Me?
It's machine applique and monogramming for multiple articles of clothing and articles around the house.
And what's applique?
Applique is a machine stitching where it's kind of hard to explain. You just kind of got to watch the machine do it. However, it is pretty cool watching it.
And what kind of things do you have here, and how can I get them monogrammed?
You can contact us. We're on Facebook. We also have an email and a phone number you can contact us at. We are on Facebook under So Is Me. Please go on and like the page and everything like that. Without stopping by the booth, you can't really get a business card of ours, but feel free to stop by anytime you like and pick one up. We have plenty and tons to hand out to you.
Well, that's very nice. So you mentioned that I can get things monogrammed. I mentioned I can get things with certain stitches. Is there anything that's really popular right now?
Our most popular is the monogrammed and applique t-shirts that today or this weekend at the show. We spent a lot of time getting a few of them together. We have sold most of them. However, you can order them through us, and we have a 7 to 10 day business turnaround as of right now.
That's very good. So what is your position in this company?
I'm the marketing manager. I try and put her name out into some of the local markets around and see if we can get, extra business that way.
And who is her?
My wife, Morgan Tonahill.
And is she the one responsible for all of these amazing things?
Yes, she is. I watch the machine, make sure it doesn't mess up or anything like that, but she types all the stuff in. She's going to teach me how to do it, and that'll take a little bit of time. So.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tonahill.
Thank you.
Well, everything in this booth is just so interesting. So stop by Mr. Tonahill's booth. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Matt. I can't wait to see what's up next.
Before the break, we heard Prasanth Raj perform Feeling Good. Prasanth joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Now, Prasanth, I read that you play the Indian drum, the tabla. Can you tell viewers a little bit about what a tabla is?
Yeah, it's a classical Indian instrument comprised of one bass drum and then one non-bass drum, let's call it. And it's generally, unlike the American drums, it's played with hands instead of sticks. And it's commonly, now it's being used more and more in movie scoring and all. And I've just been doing it since I'm 2 years old. I've just been playing it for the Indian community.
Wow, very cool, very interesting. Now, what made you want to get involved in the arts?
To be honest, I have no idea. I really like music and I enjoyed singing. So that's why I pursued, taking vocal lessons, and so I pursued my way to the arts.
Very cool.
And you have performed at the High School Musical Theater Awards. What was that experience like performing in front of your own peers?
Oh, it was amazing. I've never actually been to I'd only been to the Orpheum once before that to see like a show. And to be on the stage, it was kind of like it's like a surreal moment, when you feel you're finally there and you look at it. It was fun. It was a fun experience with the cast at our school. Yeah, it was great.
And you've obviously performed many times at the Orpheum. How do you feel knowing that professional Broadway entertainers have been where you have?
It's very humbling to be to feel that. It's very humbling, and it keeps me grateful to think that I had the opportunity to be on such a stage where great performers have been and Broadway tours have been. It's very
good answer. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming, Prasanth.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Prasanth, for your performance and for joining us today. We'll speak with Elaine Hare with Race for the Cure right after this short break.
There is still time to come out and experience the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival. When we return from our break, we'll have more music plus interviews with some interesting vendors from the festival grounds. Please stay with us.
You can now watch your favorite Germantown community television shows from anywhere in the world. GHS-TV is streaming online, live 24/7. A viewing screen displays our channel just like you see on television. Simply visit our website at www.ghstv.org. So log on and enjoy hometown news from anywhere in the world, only at ghstv.org.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe.
Would it be okay if I sat here? Is she serious? Whatever. New girl.
Yes, words can't bring me down.
Reaching out. Pass it on.
So don't you bring me
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television, your hometown news and information station.
Welcome back to Germantown Community Television's live cablecast of the 2013 Germantown Festival. I'm Madison Arthur, and this is my co-host, Justin Rowland. All throughout the show, we'll be bringing you live coverage of all of the festivities you can enjoy right here at the Germantown Civic Club Complex.
For our next guest, we have Lisa Mishke, the mission manager for the Race of the Cure, here to update us on her organization and the very special cause it supports. Ms. Mishke, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Now, first of all, can you tell viewers where and when is the race?
The race is October 26th, Saturday, October 26th. We're always the last Saturday in October at Carriage Crossing in Collierville.
And tell me a little bit about the cause that it supports.
So we're the Memphis Mid-South affiliate of Susan G. Komen, and our mission is to eradicate breast cancer. What we do is grant funds to healthcare providers and supporters here in the Memphis Mid-South area. And how we do that is raising funds primarily through our Race for the Cure. We have other events throughout the year and supporters and donation, but this is our major event.
Excellent. Well, I know that the Race for the Cure has a different atmosphere than races like marathons and stuff like that. It's a lot more family friendly. Tell us a little bit about the atmosphere viewers can expect.
Absolutely. It is a wonderful atmosphere. It's a fun-filled atmosphere. It's an inspirational atmosphere. Somebody told me just last week that last year they were just moved to tears, literally tears, by the sight of so many women, so many of them wearing that pink survivor t-shirt that have beat this disease. And yes, it's a very moving, inspirational atmosphere.
And how many people would you say typically race?
Last year we had over 15,000. We are the largest 5K in the state of Tennessee, bar none, for any cause.
Now, I know you said that the race is at Carriage Crossing this year, and
yes,
you guys moved from Germantown. What
yes,
prompted that change?
Well, a couple of primary things. One, we love Germantown. We've been here for 20 years. We needed more space. Again, our cause is to be able to make these significant grants, and in order to do that, we need to make the most possible money and expand. So we needed more space, which Carriage Crossing offered, and a later starting time as well was significant. That time of the year, it's dark early in the morning. Our survivors were participating in some of their activities literally in the dark, the pre-race activities. So we love that 9 o'clock start time.
And you being so involved, why do you feel so strongly about the race?
Because again, this is how we do what we do. This allows us to grant those funds locally. 75% of everything that we earn stays right here in the Memphis Mid-South area. It goes to significant healthcare providers. It goes to provide those essential breast health services like mammograms and screenings for women who couldn't otherwise afford them. That's why we feel so passionately about our race, because it allows us to do what we do.
Now, do people actually have to come out and participate in the race, or can they get involved other ways?
There are other ways. We have a huge volunteer force here. We love for everyone to show up for the race. One option actually in registering for the race is sleep in for the cure. So if you want to support us monetarily but don't or can't be there that morning or working, you can do sleep in for the cure. We have team competitions. Right now we have our teams are forming and getting all geared up, and they compete with one another in lots of fun ways. So those are some of the ways that people get involved.
That was actually going to be my next question. I know racers can get more involved by being in teams. How does one go about being a team captain and starting a team?
Well, when you register, and you can register online at our website, or you can come by our office and register, it will ask you if you are registering as an individual, if you're joining an existing team, or if you're starting a new team. And that's all it takes. You can start your new team as soon as you register, or you can join an existing team, and then you'll be able to go to the website and you'll see the progress of the team, the members on the team. It's a lot of fun. The teams have a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Are there any new things going on with the race this year?
Well, the new location is a pretty big change for us. And otherwise, we will just continue to do what we have been doing for the last 20 years.
So tell us a little bit about your job specifically as the missions manager. Tell us about what you get to do.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. I do a lot of education and outreach, much like today. I speak a lot, I go to a lot of health fairs, and I manage our grants process. We have a competitive grants process. We take applications, we review those applications, and then we manage throughout the year to ensure and to partner with our grantees to see that the funds are being used in the way that they envisioned and the way that they should be.
And tell us again how viewers could go about signing up to get involved in the race or to sleep in.
Sure. Probably the easiest way is to go online to our website at comeandmemphis.org, and it will give you the opportunity there to register, or you can come by our office, which is at Carrefour Mall in Germantown, and you can register there on paper.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to the race this year, and we hope it's extremely successful at its new location.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being on the show today.
Sure it will be. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Our thanks to Lisa Mischke. Please show your support by getting involved in this very important cause. Now, Madison, I know that we're finally here, and as we're going into our last hour, everything's coming to a close here at the Germantown Festival Cablecast. But what have been some of your favorite memories of prepping for the Cablecast?
Probably working with you, obviously, and just working with all the producers, getting all the guests, getting to that final script. It's really just all been really great and really fulfilling.
Absolutely. Overall, the experience has just been incredible.
Definitely. Right now, we are going back over to India Ratliff, one of our live GHS-TV field reporters, with some news on the festival grounds. India?
Thank you.
Thanks, Maddie. Looking for a rock-solid gift? Well, come on down to the Germantown Festival so Earthcrafts can show you how the coolness of a rock formed under hot lava. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. A little hot, but I'm doing great.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about what you offer here at Earthcrafts?
We offer all kind of geodes, rocks, minerals, fossils, and just an array of things that you can put on your shelf.
I heard you mention geodes. What exactly is the geode?
A geode is formed through gas pockets. And really, we don't know how exactly they're formed, but I can show you some examples on them. Like, these are geodes from Morocco. And the geodes we just cracked, they're also from Morocco, but we also had them from Mexico as well. And they just have good crystals, and you can see how they sparkle. And these things get as big as basketballs. Really? And as small as a golf ball. So just come on down and we'll set you up with a good geode.
Are there any kinds of different kinds of rocks that you would like to talk about?
Well, most rocks we find around here are agates, like you find on the river and things like that, and lots of petrified wood. We have found logs as big as 30 foot long and 6 foot across. And that gets into some weight there, but we just have a good time with these rocks.
So, to get a million-year-old geode or to find that perfect accessory for a necklace for your wife, head on down to the Germantown Festival and check out Earthcrafts. Back to you guys.
Thank you, India. We will be checking up with India and our other live reporter, Matt Coons, later on in the show. Now let's head over to our own GHS-TV entertainment stage where Gregory Mercado will sing.
Kiss and tell, it's just not my style. But the night is young, and it's been a while since you broke my heart. Broke it right in two, and it took some time. But I'm feeling like I'm finally ready to find somebody new. I wanna kiss a girl, I wanna hold her tight, and maybe make a little magic in the moonlight. Don't wanna go too far, just to take it slow, but I shouldn't be lonely in this big old world. I wanna kiss a girl. Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's that moment when you start closing in. First you're holding back, then surrendering. It can start a fire, light up the sky. Such a simple thing. Do you wanna try? Are you ready to say goodbye to all these blues? I wanna kiss a girl, I wanna hold her tight, and maybe make a little magic in the moonlight. Don't wanna go too far, just to take it slow, but I shouldn't be lonely in this big old world. I said I wanna kiss a girl, 'cause baby tonight it can turn into the rest of our lives. Oh yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready to cross that line? Put your lips on mine. Oh yeah. Put your lips on mine, baby. Uh-oh. Do you wanna try? Are you ready to say goodbye? I wanna kiss a girl, I wanna hold you tight, and maybe make a little magic, baby. I don't wanna go too far, just to take it slow, but I shouldn't be lonely, yeah. I wanna kiss a girl, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I wanna hold her tight, alright. Magic in the moonlight. I wanna kiss a girl. Uh-oh. I wanna kiss a girl. Oh yeah. Alright. I said I wanna kiss your girl.
Once again, that was Gregory Mercado singing Kiss a Girl on our very own GHS-TV entertainment stage. Gregory will join us later today for an interview, but right now we have to take a quick break. But don't go away, there's still more live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival to come. Please stay with us.
For more than 20 years, we've brought you quality programming. We're your hometown news and information station, Germantown Community Television. Our Access Together series puts you in touch with what's happening in Germantown, with programs that both enlighten and entertain. For hometown hosts, a hometown attitude, and a genuine concern for you, our hometown viewers, stay tuned to Channel 17 each week and weekend for a new Access program. Produced in the nation's #1 educational TV facility, the award-winning Access Together series. Only on the station that puts you first, Germantown Community Television.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television, your hometown news and information station.
Welcome back to Germantown Community Television's live cablecast of the 2013 Germantown Festival. I'm Madison Arthur, and this is my co-host, Justin Rowland. Before the break, we heard Gregory Mercado sing Kiss a Girl, and we are very pleased to welcome Gregory now. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you. So I read that you performed at Disney Hollywood on American Idol. Can you tell us a little bit about that event?
Yeah, we went, my best friend and I went, we auditioned kind of like they do on TV, round of producers. We went to another round of producers, and they put us in a live show where we sang in front of 400 plus people and Disney producers. It was a lot of fun.
That sounds fun.
Great.
Really awesome.
Yeah, so you had the whole experience.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get involved in doing theme park performances?
Well, with my studio, Performing Arts, Harvey Productions called, and they were looking for a singer, and I happened to audition, and I spent the summer in Birmingham singing. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Sang for the president of Coke, Chris Allen, Colby Calais. It was a pretty awesome experience. Yeah,
nice.
Pretty cool.
So performing in front of Disney producers and professional singers like that, what kind of experience was that for you?
Yeah, it was a great one. I always have problems with nerves when I go on stage, and that's always something. But I really had to put those on, put those in the back while I performed in front of that. But just to have my name out there and to sing in front of them, I think that was just an experience you can't really.
Very good.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for such a big audition like that? How do you prepare for something like that?
A lot of thinking and talking to friends. Just picking the right song, what's going to fit my voice best, what's going to entertain more. That's where a lot of that comes in, like with what I sang today. It's all about what's going to entertain people, and that's pretty much the biggest part.
Well, what was your favorite part just about just getting to do something so extreme like that?
The best part was just singing in front of everybody, like having your name on the outside of an attraction at Disney. That was the best part. Just you felt like a celebrity. You had a VIP pass. People were wanting to take pictures with you, asking for your autograph even before you performed. So, just feeling like a celebrity for a couple hours.
Well, thank you so much, Gregory Mercado. That was wonderful, outstanding performance.
Fantastic performance.
Once again, that was Gregory Mercado. We'd like to thank you all of our talent today for their outstanding performances.
The Germantown Festival truly is a boost to the Germantown economy. Aside from the visitors it brings to our fine city, it also provides a way for local nonprofits to raise money. Reporter Erica Alexander and videographer Sean Byrne bring us the story of the volunteers behind their wonderful causes.
It's another Germantown Festival for Brandon Young, and that means a weekend volunteering at the Quackers booth for the Germantown United Methodist Church.
We've come together to raise funds for various philanthropic organizations in town like Habitat for Humanity and several at-risk youth mentoring organizations.
Young is just one of the many local citizens who volunteer their time for all of the worthwhile organizations here at the festival.
To know that we're servicing other organizations that help out people that are disadvantaged in our community, and it's a way to give back to the place that we live.
Every year, these volunteers come out to the festival and give their time for a variety of causes. They also provide great food and other activities to make the Germantown Festival even better.
We are selling crepes from the crepe maker, and they are delicious.
The Popular Pike Art Skill supports the Germantown High Fine Arts Department. These parents are glad to sacrifice their weekend for their children.
We're just looking forward to seeing all the kids that we work with actually put everything that they do into action.
Steve Cantu is a volunteer for the Knights of Columbus, and although the festival can be very tiring, he says it's worth it.
Yes, it's a lot of work, and yes, it's hot out here, but you know, it's good fellowship, and especially knowing that the proceeds are going to go back to the community through charity.
As you can see, volunteers are a very big part of the Germantown Festival and do their best to raise awareness in the community. For Germantown Community Television, I'm Erica Alexander.
Thanks, Erica and Sean. The festival is open until 6 tonight, so there's still time to support our local nonprofits.
Monica Sanchez, the program specialist of the Children's Museum of Memphis, and Penny McKinney-Smith, the general manager with the Fire Museum of Memphis, are joining us now to discuss some of the interesting events and activities these two organizations have planned for the year. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Miss Sanchez, you're so dressed up today. We'll go.
Oh yes, I just want to show my good size at the museum.
Well, as we can see, children's museums can be some of the most fun and exciting places for kids to go.
It is, and also for grown-ups.
Yes.
It's also for grown-ups, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
You have the chance to learn through playing. That's the best part, you know, and having fun. I'm in charge. I'm as a clown today because I'm in charge of the Spanish Fiesta every Monday.
Okay.
I have this program where I teach children between 2 and 4-year-olds Spanish. So the best way to do it is having a party, a fiesta, with a clown. So that's why I'm here.
Very cool.
It's fun. It's really cool. It's really cool. But we have a lot of programs. We have something going on. It's going to be a spectacular grossology. Can you imagine the name grossology? Everything about things funny, smelly stuff.
Gross.
Yeah, gross. Everything about gross.
Oh, wow.
It's a way to teach the kids what happened with our bodies, why we produce, why we burp, why the urine is yellow, and all that kind of fun stuff.
Ah, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. That sounds very interesting.
It's interesting. Even for me, it's like it's going to be here on the 14th, September the 14th to January the 5th, and everybody's going to have a blast. Everybody can touch. Everybody can. That's the most important thing. You can go and say, oh, I like this.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's for all ages. That's fantastic. Now, Miss Smith, the Fire Museum of Memphis is a pretty big place. How many different exhibits do you guys actually have?
Well, we're in the process of redesigning some of our exhibits. We have 2 buildings, 2 floors in our 1910 museum, and 1 floor in our Snowden Educational Building. Our mission is to educate children about fire and life safety, and it's also a place to come and have fun. What we have tried to do is combine education with fun technology and call it edutainment.
Ah, nice.
And we've been quite successful. We're 15 years old this year.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, I know you said you have a 1910 section of the museum.
Yes.
What different periods of time does the Fire Museum focus on?
Well, of course, the history of the Memphis Fire Department is very rich. Back from the middle 1800s, when we first established our department. The fire department in Memphis has had, like Germantown's, a great tradition and pride in their history, and they have the foresight to preserve that history for us. In 1992, in the city of Memphis, the fire fatality rate was 2.5 times the national average. They had a very serious problem with fire deaths. So the director, Charles Smith, at that time came up with the idea, let's go on and implement a dream that firemen had had for many, many years. And they took one of the old boarded up fire stations and established a 501c3, raised $5 million, and built the museum.
Wow.
And opened the 1910 museum at 118 Adams.
Fantastic.
And Ms. Sanchez, the Children's Museum is obviously one of the most favorite places that a kid can go. So what unique exhibits does the Children's Museum of Memphis offer to kids?
Well, like right now, the one we're going to have soon is grossology, but we have some established things like a fire station. We have a fire station. We had something in common.
I know. We gave you the fire truck.
Yes,
Memphis did. We like
that's
to
something
share.
the kids like a lot. We have the tree house. We have The river, I love the river. The kids can see the Mississippi River and play around and do that. And we have, of course, the FedEx airplane. So the kids can go, get inside of the plane, and see how it works when the package travel from one place to another one. So those are the ones we usually have. And the water park is something that you have to enjoy with this weather.
Yes,
I want to be there.
enjoy it today.
Exactly.
Now, I know you were telling us about Grossology a little bit earlier, and
Yes.
the Memphis Children's Museum calendar always seems to be full of exciting events. Other than Grossology, what are some other events that are coming up?
We're gonna have another event. It's called Flumpa. Flumpa is gonna be on September 21st. We're gonna have the Spanish Heritage celebration on October the 5th, and the Children's Ball. The Children's Ball is the best time for little girls who wants to be princess. And we had Cinderella and Prince Charming welcome everybody to this event. It's just something that any little girl dream about it. And they get to bring their kings, mom and dad, and maybe the brother who's had to be a prince too, and have a blast with this. They get to do a lot of activities. It's gonna be on Friday, October 11th from 6 to 9 p.m. and the girls get to dress like a princess.
Excellent.
And the parents are welcome also to dress as a king and queens and have a couple nights, and we have a bunch of activities we had carriage outside of the building, giving a carriage ride to the kids. So it's
Great. Sounds like a fun day.
yeah, and the Monster Mash, we need to have a Halloween party on the October the 26th. So it's gonna be great.
Excellent. Now, Ms. Smith, do you have any exhibits that are catered to different age groups at the museum?
We do. We have Patricia Bout come in, who has trained two very special needs Dalmatians, Lottie Dot and Izzy. And when we schedule our special needs groups and our daycare groups, Patricia will come in and the dogs teach them to stop, drop, and roll, to get low and go. The kids love them, and they can identify so much easier and learn so much quicker with the dogs than they can with our educators. We do have 3 Memphis Fire Department educators on staff at all times. For adults, we do have exhibits that cater to the older crowd. The FedEx Fire Room actually simulates how quickly a fire can get out of control. The room fills with smoke behind glass, but you don't realize that you're not involved in the smoke. You also feel the heat. It gets up to close to 100 degrees in the room. So it can be quite exciting, and it's sometimes quite thrilling. If you've not ever been involved in a situation like that before.
Well, what are some websites that viewers can go to check out about each of your organizations?
Well, it will be wcmom.com, Children's Museum of Memphis, and they can find Sparks, where it brings all the information about the events, what we're going to have every day, all the activities, their coming events, everything they will see there.
And our website is www.firemuseum.com. You can just type in Fire Museum and you'll get a hit on the Fire Museum of Memphis. One thing that I would like to add, we work closely, we try to, with Germantown, with all the outlying areas. We've received close to $1 million in the last 12 months, part of it through FEMA, and we are able to provide educational materials. Fire Prevention Week is coming up beginning October the 6th. Germantown has already been down to the museum to pick up educational materials to assist the schools all around Germantown. So we're not just confined to Memphis. We do as much outreach with the outlying communities and fire departments as we can.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, ladies, both so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Looking forward to checking out both of the museums.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Once again, that was Monica Sanchez with the Children's Museum of Memphis and Penny McKinney-Smith with the Fire Museum of Memphis. Thanks to both of them for being on the show.
Right now, we have to take a quick break, but don't go away. There's still more live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival. Please stay with us.
You can now watch your favorite Germantown community television shows from anywhere in the world. GHS-TV is streaming online, live 24/7. A viewing screen displays our channel just like you see on television. Simply visit our website at www.ghstv.org. So log on and enjoy hometown news from anywhere in the world, only at ghstv.org.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe.
Would it be okay if I sat here?
Is she serious? Whatever. New girl. These words can't bring me down.
Reaching out. Pass it on.
So don't you bring me
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, Germantown Community Television, your hometown news and information station.
Yes. Welcome back to GHS-TV's live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival. I'm Madison Arthur, and this is my co-host, Justin Rowland.
Connor Gray Covington, the assistant conductor for the Memphis Symphony, and Elizabeth Mensa, a company dancer with Ballet Memphis, have taken time out of their day to join us today on the stage and talk about their upcoming events for this year. Guys, welcome to the stage.
Thanks for having us.
Now, I'll start with you, Mr. Covington. I know you are conducting the upcoming Symphony in the Gardens at the Dixon Gallery and Gardens. How have preparations for that been coming?
It's going well. As an assistant conductor, I have a little bit more of a difficult job sometimes because I only get one rehearsal for it. So 1 2.5 hour rehearsal for almost an hour's worth of music, and that's Friday. But they're professionals, so they come prepared, and we put it together, and should be a good show.
That's great.
And Ms. Mensa, Ballet Memphis kicked off its season yesterday with On Point on Vogue. Can you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Sure. It was a great show that we had last night. It was a kind of a retrospective of famous ballets through the years, told through famous costumes. And so what we did was we had each of our dancers come out wearing a famous costume from a dance such as Swan Lake or Sleeping Beauty, and do a couple of steps that were reminiscent of that choreography. So we kind of gave the audience a taste of lots of different ballets through the years.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So for the both of you, what events does the Memphis Symphony and Ballet Memphis have coming up for the rest of this season?
You want to go first?
Sure. Well, our season, the Memphis Symphony season officially kicks off with the Symphony in the Gardens in Dixon, at the Dixon Gallery and Gardens next Sunday, and then we have all kinds of series. We have kind of a little bit of something for everybody. We have a pop series. We have our Masterwork series. We play with the opera. We work with Opera Memphis. So there's all kinds of things coming up. Our first Masterworks concert is, I believe, 2 weeks from yesterday on Saturday, and it's a really exciting program. It starts with Lincoln Portrait, which will be narrated by our new chair of the board, Gail Rose. And then we'll do the Bach Double Violin Concerto with Joy Brown Wiener, who's our concertmaster emeritus. She's been around for quite a while. And then Ein Heldenleben, which is a big Strauss tone poem, which is a really fun piece. And we have all kinds of concerts like that throughout the season. We also have a great collaboration with Ballet Memphis.
Awesome.
We do the Nutcracker, 4 performances of it. And I can't remember the dates off the top of my head, but I'm sure you probably know them.
13th through 15th of December.
So,
I just looked it up.
So yeah, that's a great collaboration that we have, and lots of exciting things. So.
We also are getting ready to continue our season. The next thing that we're doing is the River Project 2 at Playhouse on the Square down in Midtown.
Awesome.
And that is going to be the 3rd and 4th weekends of October. And that's 3 brand new ballets that are all inspired by the Mississippi River. One by choreographer Petr Zaradnicek, one by company dancer Julie Niekratz, and one by choreographer Julia Adam, who works with us a lot. And after that, we're going to be doing the Nutcracker at the Orpheum. We have a tour to St. Louis for our original Wizard of Oz production. Then we have another show in the middle of February at Playhouse on the Square, and we finish off with a brand new Peter Pan production, all new choreography at the Orpheum in April with flying.
And as you said, you do the Nutcracker every year, right? So what do you think keeps viewers just keep coming back to such a wonderful show?
You know, I really think that people love to see the dancers that they know on stage, and they develop a real connection with a lot of the ballerinas and dancers who play the leading roles. And it's also such a wonderful story that kids every year come and see it anew, and it's kind of like the first introduction to ballet for a lot of them, and sparks their love for dance.
Well, you know, it seems like you guys just came on the stage, but it looks like once again that we're running out of time. So can you really quickly give us just some websites that we can go to for viewers to find out more information about upcoming events?
Sure. You can go to memphissymphony.org, and that has all of our concerts throughout the season. There's way too many for me to list right now, but it has all the ticket information. And one kind of plug I want to put in is that to all of our events, we offer $5 student tickets. So if you're a college student and you want to come out and do something, you can go and see the symphony for half the price you would pay at a movie theater. So it's a really great deal.
Very cool.
For us, we're balletmemphis.org, and you can find out all about our season, buy tickets, look at the bios of all of our dancers, and also find out about all of the community outreach touring that we're going to be doing throughout the year.
Well, thank you both so much for being on the show. I'm really looking forward to the upcoming seasons, you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
That was Connor Gray Covington with Memphis Symphony and Elizabeth Mensa with Ballet Memphis. Thanks to both of them for being on our live cablecast of the 2013 Germantown Festival.
Right now, let's catch up with field reporter Matt Coons, live on the scene of this year's Germantown Festival. Matt?
Thanks, Maddie. Have you ever wanted to put something inspirational up on your wall? Well, then surrender some of that space to Mr. Shows and his Surrender Life Art. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Shows.
Thank you.
So can you tell me exactly what you sell here?
Well, we sell scripture and on distressed wood, colored wood. That's what we sell.
And what gave you the idea to start this?
Well, when years ago we couldn't afford to put scripture on our wall, and so my wife started doing that for us. And pretty soon people were asking if they could purchase it, and then some stores were, so that's where we got our start 4 or 5 years ago. So
That's lovely. I see there's all these different varieties. Can you tell me a little bit about some of them?
Yeah, we have different pieces, like these small pieces that we put little blocks that can sit on tables. We have large candle holders as well as plaques you can put on your wall, and even large crosses.
Thank you for joining me, Mr. Shows.
Thank you.
Well, these scriptures just seem to jump off the wall at me, and maybe they want to go to your living room wall. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Matt. We'll check in with Matt and our other reporter, India, one final time later on in the show. Now on our show, we invite Chris Wallace, the general manager for the Memphis Grizzlies. Welcome, Chris. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's always a treat to come to the Germantown Fair.
Well, thank you. Well, so the Grizzlies last year finished with, the best record in franchise history, 56-26, made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Team really has come a long way, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. There's been a remarkable amount of progress, and many people are responsible, too numerous to mention here, over the last couple of years, in addition to the players and the coaches, or marketing staff, 2 different ownership groups. Everybody's pitched in, but the group that I would have to pat on the back the hardest and be most appreciative is the fans of Memphis. And Memphis is a great basketball community, and our fans, once the team started to have playoff success beginning in 2011, really jumped on the bandwagon with both feet, and they provided us with a home court atmosphere in playoff basketball FedEx Forum, which is second to none in the NBA.
With Dave Yeager as the new head coach, how has this offseason been for the team under new leadership and just preparing for a season as an NBA powerhouse?
Well, Dave has been very active, reaching out to all of our players. He's been to Spain to visit Marc Gasol, our starting center, all-star center. He's visited all of our players either in Memphis or in their hometowns, worked out with them. He's a very young, energetic, accomplished coach who was a big winner in minor league basketball before joining our staff in 2007 as an assistant coach. And so there's been a great deal of activity with he and his staff. He's had to assemble almost an entirely new staff. There's been some transition. But I think he's going to do a fabulous job because he certainly has the credentials, the basketball acumen, and most importantly, the drive, the willpower to keep this team very successful in the future.
Absolutely.
Now, Mr. Wallace, it was just 4 years ago that the Memphis Grizzlies were the worst team in the league, and now they're a team that nobody in the NBA takes lightly. How do you think that the fan support has helped that rise?
Well, the fan support is it's absolutely essential in any sport, but particularly in basketball. There's no sport that has more of a pronounced home court advantage than basketball because it's in a contained environment. Obviously, you're playing indoors. The arenas are smaller than football stadiums. The fans are right on top of the players at virtually any basketball arena. So you have to be able to win your home games because the odds are you're not going to win as many away from home. So you have to have that boisterous atmosphere, that electricity, as they say in college basketball, a pit atmosphere. And we've developed it over the last 3 years. Again, as I mentioned earlier in this segment, Memphis is a great basketball town. The Memphis Tigers have been successful for decades. They played in national championship games under 3 different coaches. Josh Pastner's doing a great job. There's a great deal of excitement with them this year. The high school scene here is among the most vibrant and talent-packed in the entire country. We've had so many great players come out of this area: Keith Lee, Penny Hardaway, Elliott Perry, just too many to really mention over the years. And so this is a basketball town, even though the South is football country. And once our team gave fans something to get excited about, they came on and have just created so much electricity and excitement, and particularly in the playoffs, and that's essential to capturing the home court, to being a very strong home court team like we have in the last few years. You can't be successful in basketball if you don't defend and flourish on your home court.
How important to the team has it been over the past few years to hold on to players such as Marc Gasol, who just won Defensive Player of the Year, Zach Randolph, and Tony Allen?
Well, continuity is important in any sport. And so we've now had continuity with not just Tony Allen being here for 3 years. Marc Gasol's been here, I believe, for 5 years now. Mike Conley, our starting point guard, who could be in an all-star team in the near future, he's done 6 years here in Memphis. Zach Randolph has been here 4 years. So that continuity is essential to success because basketball is a very collaborative chemistry game. More chemistry is needed in our game than any other sport. Take, for example, football. You have 11 guys on offense, 11 defense. The offense comes on the field, then it goes off, the defense comes on. But basketball, you have to play both ends of the field, of the court. You got to play defense and offense. You have to know the tendencies of your teammates, where they like to get the ball, that sort of thing that takes time to develop. But once you get it, you will win games for no other reason than the chemistry that you have developed. That collaborative nature that you've taken to a very high level. And we have that now with this team. We probably have about as good a continuity as anybody in the NBA does at this point among the 30 teams.
Now, where can viewers go to check out when Memphis is playing and who they're playing and how they can buy tickets and stuff like that?
You can go to thegrizzlies.com and all of our ticket information, our schedule will be on there. There's various different packs. People can buy a full season ticket or they can buy certain packs and 10, 12 games, 5 games, whatever. And the important thing is just to come out. Whether you come out for all 41 regular season games, or you come out just one time, we don't care. Just get there and support us and cheer your lungs out. And not only come down to FedEx Forum to support the Grizzlies and the Tigers and the athletic events, but come to the concerts and the tractor pulls and all the various events, and then stay downtown and go to the restaurants and support the businesses downtown, because we've got such a vibrant atmosphere from Beale Street area on throughout all downtown up to Main Street when there are events at the FedEx Forum. And between the Grizzlies games, the Tigers, and all the various entertainment events that we have, there's about 100 events a year in FedEx Forum. So it's a major driver of our downtown economy, and we need everybody to come downtown. It's perfectly safe down there, and it's one of the best arenas in the entire United States, if not the world.
Well, Mr. Wallace, thanks so much for coming on the show today, and really looking forward to watching the Grizzlies.
Well, we appreciate your support. Look forward to seeing both of you all at FedEx Forum many times this year.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was Chris Wallace, the general manager for the Memphis Grizzlies. We thank him for taking time out of his busy day to come on our show.
And now let's go back over to our 2 live reporters, India Ratliff and Matt Coons, for their final update.
Thanks, Maddie. Well, unfortunately, this long-awaited day is coming to a close.
Yes, I have to admit, I'm sad to see it go.
But on a happy note, we've gotten the opportunity to interview some of the most unique vendors in years.
The variety this year was out of this world. I really enjoyed talking to Earthcrafts about their amazing geodes.
And I enjoyed interviewing Miss Carol Mauvais about her incredible hot sauce.
It makes me even more excited about what next year has to offer.
Well, unfortunately, it's time for Indy and I to say our final goodbyes.
So, for one last time,
back to you, Maddie and Justin.
Thanks, Indy and Matt. For our two final guests this afternoon, returning again to the show as they do each year, we have Howard Giffen, the chairman of the festival, and Melba Fristic, the Germantown Festival coordinator. They have had a very busy weekend for sure, so thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting us.
Glad to be here.
Now, what attracts so many vendors each year to come to the Germantown Festival of all festivals?
Well, we have a blueprint that has seemed to work for 42 years now. If you put good product out and provide, enough for a family to come and enjoy themselves without breaking the bank, people seem to still want to come. So we still get the good crowds.
Now, it goes without saying that this past weekend has been a very busy weekend for the both of you. What kind of preparations have gone into, getting ready for the festival?
As far as the festival grounds, it starts on that Saturday before Labor Day. We come up here and we mark all the spots for the booths, the arts and craft booth, the children's area, the food booth, all of that is marked. And then beginning on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day, it's just from 7 o'clock in the morning to about 6 o'clock at night, getting everything ready, getting the sawdust down, getting the fields ready there, getting the lawns mowed, getting the tree branches cut down that might be in the way. And it's just a joint effort of everybody in the city and the entire festival committee to do all of this.
And how do you think that the festival benefits the Germantown and surrounding community?
Well, we get to show off the best of Germantown. This is show-off time for Germantown. We bring in people that might be out here once or twice a year and show them what we have to offer. It's amazing when I hear people say, I only come out here once or twice, but this is one of the events I want to come to.
If you could tell someone who's never been to the festival before, and then maybe not from Germantown, things they should absolutely could not miss, what would they be?
Well, the food court for one area. There's 18 food booths there. There's every food booth has to have something different. None of them will be selling the same item. There are one that has been grandfathered in that we have two booths on the same thing, but otherwise it's a completely different venue for everybody. And the arts and craft people, they just love coming out here.
This is known as an arts and crafts festival. So.
Lastly, is there anything we can expect from next year's 43rd Annual Germantown Festival that's going to be exciting?
Well, we'd love to have cool weather.
Yes, absolutely.
No, we will have the same type of product put out here. It will be the same type event. So it's working, and we'd love to keep it that way.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.
Our thanks to Howard Giffen and Melba Fristic for being with us today. Congratulations to them and their entire staff for another outstanding Germantown Festival.
As Festival 2013 draws to a close, we would like to thank you for tuning in to our live cablecast, and we hope our team of reporters, talented performers, and interviews have been both entertaining and informative.
Festival 2013 was, by all means of the word, a hot attraction this year. So if you haven't had a chance to come out here yet, you've still got about an hour left to get in some great bargain shopping. The festival will be open until 6 p.m. this evening at the Germantown Civic Club Complex in the heart of Germantown.
If you couldn't make it out to the festival grounds this year, don't worry, there's always another year to look forward to. Festival 2014 marks the festival's 43rd anniversary and will certainly feature all the tasty treats, enthralling entertainment, and fantastic fun you can fit into your day. Thank you so much for watching Germantown Community Television's live coverage of the 42nd Annual Germantown Festival. I'm Madison Arthur.
And I'm Justin Rowland. We hope you've enjoyed our program today. We have many wonderful local shows just like this one all season long on Germantown Community Television, GHS-TV, your hometown news and information station. Look out for our schedule each week in the Germantown News and check out our website at www.ghstv.org. On behalf of the entire crew who helped make this year's cablecast possible, thank you for watching Germantown Community Television. Have a wonderful evening.